Of the things you could write songs about, like lost love, heartache, fast cars, alcohol abuse, drug abuse, politics, war, you know, the abortions, that kind of thing that everyone writes songs about. It, to me, it's writing songs about someone like Spoonman. It's kind of more interesting, more fun, change of pace.
Being nominated for Grammy, I don't think it's going to affect us in the slightest bit.
Yeah, I think the first sign you'll see of that is when we all start getting facial reconstructive surgery, you know, when we come out.
Well, you know, I don't feel I've changed at all.
If you play the record backwards, it has a different message altogether.
Yeah, it's just buy your mother flowers.
And we were talking about what you guys don't want to talk about. You don't want to talk about anything except for maybe cats.
Well, you know what? We don't really want to talk about cats. What the Grammys really think is what, you know, what counts. I guess we're heavy metal. Guys, we're heavy metal.
As of now?
Yep.
It's official. We're heavy metal.
Okay, it's official.
Do you think the bands only have one or two people riding based on how they're limiting themselves?
I think they suck.
Seattle.
Any of you guys consider yourself visionaries?
I consider myself to be a visionary.
I consider myself.
I consider Chris to be a visionary only in that he recognizes me as a visionary.
Well, I recognize myself foremost as a visionary. I mean, you come in sort of secondary visionary, but you wouldn't be able to see that really, you know.
Yeah.
Had a chance to see any of the other bands play at all?
I've seen everybody except Lush so far.
Who's the best? Who did you like the best?
Soundgarden.
Who'd you like second best?
Soundgarden, I think, was good. They came in like a close second to us.
Navy training dolphins to kill divers.
Very cool.
Yeah. Jeff Smulyan dating Monica Hart.
Man, what are you doing with that guy? Yeah, you haven't called me in weeks.
It's flattering to be influential, but you know, it's like if you go to the store and you buy a really nice dress, and then you go to a party and some other bitch is wearing your dress. Even though you might like her, maybe she was your old roommate or something, but it's still, you know, you wish you wouldn't wear it because you bought it first.
Soundgarden is a state of mind. Soundgarden is a frame of time.
Soundgarden is a sub-reference.
It's more of an essence than a sum or matter. It's more of an afterthought.
It's kind of a loose steering wheel. It's mischievous yet playful.
It's a tear from an eye dreaming.
An ancient evil awakened to slaughter his family. A mythical quest was revealed. Treacherous perils await. Lovers bound by destiny. Darkness gathers as a new game begins. One man's rage will shape worlds. Cordrath, The Awakening. Only on Indiegogo. Back it now!
I told that moron not to take out my Tchaikovsky tape. No matter, let's get started. Here we are, Nancy Moon. The last time we left our heroine, she had just joined my esteemed colleagues at level M. And the soldier who don't stop talking, a magician with a money issues, a vampire with a checkered past. But there are other teammates she's yet to meet. One in particular might be a little bit shocking for her. I do hope she's not allergic. Back it today, won't you? Like right now.
Pardon me and my tone. You can't step to my throne. They ain't working like me. I did this on my own. You asking where we been, huh? I don't know where to begin, huh? All this dirt on my skin. I just came here to win. I'm more than a man, I'm a monster. Somebody call a pastor, doctor. I got a 6 cents for imposters. So now I'm coming for the whole roster. It's not a game, why you playing with me? You could double back, lose track, try and hang with me. It must be in my veins, something you can't tame, cause I break the chains. Can't control me. I got the power. I got the keys. Cause I break the chains.
Take your fulfillment back, cause I don't think it comes in a box. I think it shots them to here. They're fucking hacks. So look up and smell the shit hitting the fan. It's all the master plan and what a number and that. But you don't care and you'll toss me up, cause I'll make you think. Spin right in my face and just a stupid kid with nothing but frustration. I tell you that I'm not satisfied with the way that I've been lied to. There's nothing I can do by myself. Oh. goddamn right, I'm sick of this shit. And I refuse your reputation to sit down. Spin right in my face and put me in my place. I'm just a stupid cat with nothing but frustration, and I chase it. I'm not satisfied with the way that I've been lied to. There's nothing I can do by myself alone. I can't stop wondering if this is the end. Will it all be up to me? Will I have a friend? No, I can't stop wondering if this is the end. Will it all be up to me? Will I have a friend? I can't stop wondering if the sky is black. And will it all fade into blue? Just like the memory of you. We're all the same, but we talk in different ways. Just like we used to while we're staring at the sun. It waves, and you know it's not true. I won't ask you anymore. I won't ask you anymore. Whoa. Yeah, yeah. Whoa. Yeah, yeah.
Guess who stepped on the scene? I got greatness all in my jeans. Ain't no way that I can slow down. I'm laced up, look how I shake the ground. Can't touch the crown, but you can kiss the ring. Close your eyes and see how I live a dream. I'm too smooth, MJ with the lean. Don't be fooled, I came through with the team. This is over their heads, how high can it go? I'm too over the edge, got my eyes on the goal. And we right back at it, keep them right on their toes. Look at the way that I move, this is all that I know. Cause I got the drive, I put it in gear. Line them up, I don't see no competitors here. If it ain't first place, we really can't settle for it. Listen up, listen up. Get ready for it. Get ready for it. Listen up, listen up. Get ready for it. Get ready, let's go. Get ready, we running this show. Get ready.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Comicsgate Commandos number 20. We're 20, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't that amazing? 20. It's only a short hop from here to 100, and then 1,000, and then 2,000, and then 3,000, and then 4,000. I'm just kidding. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce my co-host, Colonel Carbon Hart. What's up, Carbon?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I am chilling, dog. How are you?
Good. Very good.
Excellent. As always, chat, please, if you can. If any of us are like off sync, let us know, and we can jump in and back in, or jump out and back in. Ladies and gentlemen, look, we have here our medic, Dr. Ben. What's up, Dr. Ben?
I'm coming. Hold on.
No, you're good. I'm trying to read what the book says on your
Trying to
guys.
find my shit.
It's a medical journal.
Is that all it is?
A timely Dr. Ben.
What does it say? Pretend to be indoctrinated enough so that you can stay out of the re-education camps. Oh, that's awesome. Nice. Nice. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is 2020 vision. What's up, Dr. Ben?
It's going.
Oh, nice background.
Yeah. Kind of going for a more Hawaiian look for today, summertime.
Yeah. Which begs the question, Carbon Heart, you said you were going to get a camera soon. When are you going to get your camera, my guy?
Bit of a delay on that, my friend. And thinking I might do a momentous face reveal.
Yeah.
Still
Here,
in the
Mr.
works,
Self
though.
posted your channel here, Carbon Heart's secret channel, he says.
I don't even remember what's on there. I think, I had some songs from my band that were on there, but I thought I made them private. I think there's still a couple of songs on there.
Secret channel.
Well, we should check those out tonight when we're done with the topic, the comic book topic. Obviously, we want to be, we want to stay on topic. But let me see who's in the chat here. We have, as always, Mr. Self-Destruct. He says, some reason Snake Eater stuck in my head the last 2 days. That's not a bad song to be stuck in your head, dude. That song is amazing. It's probably one of the best. Correct me if you guys feel differently, but I feel like it's probably the best video game title song ever. What do you guys think?
Well, a song with vocals, I would agree, but there have been some epic video game themes in the past, instrumental.
Which ones are you thinking of?
Well, Capcom fighting games have always had awesome music, like Street Fighter 2, So I'm thinking some Street Fighter 2 themes. Obviously, Guile, the Guile theme, Ken theme. Final Fantasy 7 has some epic music.
I'm thinking Fallout. Fallout's got a great, very iconic theme. Let's see here. We've got Grim Jim. He says he hates it when that happens, and that was in reference to the Soundgarden video I was showing. Isn't it astounding how funny those? I think those videos are fucking hilarious, but it's maybe because I'm obsessed with Soundgarden. But he was talking about how, you're an inspiration to people musically, and then it's sometimes it's an honor, but then sometimes you hear what they're doing, and you're like that girl who bought a really nice dress at the store, and some bitch showed up to the party with the same dress that you're wearing, and you're like, ah.
Yeah, I like Chris Cornell. I like his personality. But it's funny when you look back at those interviews that they used to do like on MTV, and it's a shame that doesn't exist anymore. There's no MTV really with showing live festivals like that with interviewers. I mean, that was a great time, man. You could put it on any time of the day and watch music videos or stuff like that,
Yeah, and everybody's joking around and having fun. It's a good time. It's the decline of our culture. Did I already say? Yeah, we've got Grim Jim here, and then we've got. Let me keep scrolling here. Dekar, I don't think Dekar's been in the chat before. So hail Dekar. He said he's going to be in and out throughout the show. But he obviously he understands what good drumming sounds like. The song I played earlier was from my old band that no longer exists, but I still play with the drummer. And he is I personally think he's fucking amazing at the drums. He's so good. I'm actually really kind of lucky to be able to work with him. Who else do we have here? We've got Survive Infinity 0088. Hail Comicsgate. What's up, dog? How you doing today? The Squid says, this week has already tired me out. Dude, I know how you feel. I know exactly how you feel. Oh, and then he says, the Halo theme will always be better. The Halo theme. I forgot about that one. That one is really good. You're right. You're right. And then we have Sleeping Psychopathy. How you doing, man? He says, just pulling my hair out about this code that refuses to submit to my will. I can only imagine how frustrating that is, trying to program something and you don't know which character you put in that's causing all the fuck-up.
Coding is a nightmare, dude. I actually took it in college, and I was gonna do computer programming, but I hated it so much that like I made the decision to not make that my career. Like I wanted to kill myself when I was coding.
But it's, I mean, that's true. And there's that payoff though. If you really stick with it, you can do some things that are unbelievable. You can make some things that people would never, like no one would ever be able to see unless you ate shit for months and wrote the code to something.
Oh yeah, no. Apparently, now it's more important than ever to know how to code. So.
Oh yeah.
And it makes a huge difference. Talk about AI. AI is all coding.
Mm-hmm. And the weird thing about AI is it can do it quickly too. Well, I mean, once you've coded the AI to be able to do something, it can do it pretty quickly. But it does require a human being. Interestingly enough, isn't that funny? Humans give birth to AI, and then AI destroys them. Huh. Anyway.
It's like the Garden of Eden all over again.
Exactly.
Betrayal.
Oh, bro. Okay, we can't get into that right now.
Not tonight.
Today. I really want to though, with what you just said. The Squid says, good luck with that. I'm just chilling, waiting for my trailer to be loaded so I can hit the road. Your trailer? What do you mean? Are you a truck driver? Because that'd be fucking sick. That'd be really cool. Because truck drivers are the lifeblood of countries. All countries. Don't ever underestimate yourself. Some people might underestimate you because, oh, he's just a truck driver. No, the truck driver is the guy who brings you all the shit that you fucking need for your whole life. We're 30 seconds in, right? I can say fuck. Okay. The Squid says 5-ish more hours, maybe 6. Who knows? Ugh. Mr. Self-Destruct says, can't stand working with computers. Feel like I'm going to catch digital HIV. Sleeping Psychopathy says, unless AI is the man behind the curtain of big tech. Oh, we can't talk about AI tonight, guys. I'm sorry. It sure does, says Dakar. I have over 100K generated images on at least 4 different Jennies. Is anybody more intelligent than me who knows what Jennies means?
Genie.
That might be Will Smith. I think he means generators.
Oh. He's so far advanced, he calls them Jennies now. Wow. Have been going by curator/designer and not artist out of respect for actual artists. That's actually very respectable. Very respectable. The Squid says, yes, I am a truck driver. Local day cab, though. Thank God I ain't over the road anymore. The Squid, is that good pay? You don't have to tell us how much you make, but, like, is it worth it? Is it worth it, like, to be traveling so often? And thank you for your service.
It is good pay.
It is
Being
good.
a truck driver, yeah, like across state lines. Yeah, I know a truck driver, and like, it's worth it. I think it's a good career choice.
He says generators is just slang. Okay, so you got it right. Lol, Madam Savvy turned me on to that. Thank you. I'm trying, he says. No. All right. All right. So before we get into the comics, because tonight we're going to be talking about Inglorious Rex 2. We're going to be talking about Godlike, and we're going to be talking about Ghost of the Badlands if we have time. Although I prefer to focus the first two because they're more officially Comicsgate. And while I'd like Razor Fist a lot, I don't know about you guys, but he's not technically Comicsgate. He's more Iron Age. Although I wish he had just joined with Comicsgate.
Well, at least he doesn't like ignore the existence of Comicsgate, like another individual who decided to do that.
Yeah, and shit on it too. You know. So there's a trailer that dropped. First of all, there's a trailer that dropped. What was it? A day ago? 1 day ago. Let me bring it up here. We watched the original trailer for this a while back when it released. And we'll watch this one, and we'll see what you guys, the chat, and my co-hosts here think. This is Joker 2.
2 years ago, the name Arthur Fleck hit Gotham like a hurricane.
The trial of the century. They believe Arthur Fleck to be some kind of martyr. Well, he's not. There's a monster.
When you're smiling, when I'm smiling,
When I first saw Joker, when I saw you,
the whole world smiles with you.
for once in my life, I didn't feel so alone anymore.
When you're laughing, when you're laughing, the sun comes shining through. For once in my life, I have someone who needs me.
How about you, Arthur? Do you still think you're a star?
Showtime. The whole world smiles with you.
You can do anything you want.
The sun comes.
You're Joker.
Look around. Look at all these people. Bring on. I will no longer allow any of you. So stop your sighing to keep me down. Be happy again.
I got the sneaking suspicion that we're not giving the people what they want.
It's okay, baby. Let's give the people what they want. Sing hallelujah, come on, get happy. Get ready for the judgment day.
All right. Thoughts? What are you guys' thoughts?
I don't know. Lady Gaga
I'm looking
looks
forward
like
to it.
rough.
I think it.
Let's
Oh,
let
go ahead.
Dr. Ben go first.
Oh, haha. That's right. I thought Lady Gaga looked kind of rough, but like I think that's kind of supposed to. That's more like how it's been, anyways. It's more like a down on the dirt style, like realistic kind of movie. So I don't know. Like I was worried because I was hearing people say it was going to be a musical. And I didn't really get that feeling from it. Like I didn't get. You know what I mean? Like I think musical, I think of like Lady and the Tramp or something. You know what I mean? Like something Camptown Races or something. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. That's a musical, or like West Side Story. That would be a musical. But like I didn't get. So I mean that's good. If they put in music with them singing, that'd be okay, as long as it doesn't come across like Like
Well, that was
old-timey
him
music.
singing in the beginning. You know the what is that song called? When you're smiling, when you're smiling, I think is what it's called. I've
Yeah.
heard the version, the Louis Prima version, but
Yeah.
that was not Louis Prima. That was what's his name? Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin.
Yeah,
Joaquin.
well, you're right, Ben, because it doesn't look like it's like a full-blown musical in
Yeah,
terms of
that's what
like
I'm
being a song every few minutes, which I'm happy about, because if it felt like 100% of a musical, that might be uncomfortable. I think what they're going to do is they're going to have a few songs scattered throughout that work in terms of this kind of. There's an implication of this like dream state in which he might be fantasizing when he looks like a lot cleaner and well dressed. So those might be the musical numbers throughout the movie for the most part, and I don't have a problem with that. I mean, I think it looks good visually.
Yeah.
Lady Gaga, you're right about that. She has more of a gritty, true to life look, which I think it's what they're going for. They're going for that true to life feel. My only gripe is I prefer a Joker who's more victorious. I was fine with him being, the reject in the first movie, because that's his origin, to be down in the dumps, hit rock bottom, and then become the Joker. But once you're the Joker, it's like you need to be like, he doesn't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, once he turns into the Joker and he's starting to kill people and he's a true villain and he's accepted that, like, he should be victorious every step of the way, laughing, like getting the upper hand. Like, that's the Joker, not this kind of wishy-washy, like, sometimes he's getting a win. So that's my one drawback to this interpretation.
Who knows? Maybe well, the mark of a good trailer is one that doesn't give away everything. So hopefully, this trailer isn't giving away really anything at all. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I didn't feel like it was. Obviously it's going to be like him and Harley Quinn's. I mean, that's what the story is whatever, them meeting and falling in love or whatever, or him pushing her into the vat of acid, or, whatever it's going to be. It's not real clear exactly what, is it going to be a tragedy,
it's gonna
or, who knows how it's going to.
I don't think for this one they're going to do like any vat of acid stuff. Because like the last one wasn't
Acid
any of
vats.
that either. Yeah, no acid vats. They were like, in the executive meeting, they were like, acid vats are off the table,
It's possible.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely going to be some stuff that is not revealed, so hopefully there's some surprises. Overall, I'm looking forward to it. It looks like a decent enough movie. I'll be entertained. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I think it'll be up there.
Speaking of trailers that apparently don't give anything away at all and leave like a ton in the movie that you don't have any idea about, this movie I am so incredibly excited for, people. Look, I don't know how you guys feel, but like when Black Widow came out, I was excited for Black Widow because Black Widow's like my favorite female Marvel character. I watched that movie and I was like, oh my God. And it like, I don't know how to describe it. It was one of the most like, because that was just coming off of which one was it? Endgame. And Endgame, I know a lot of people don't like Endgame, and they don't like that Captain America died or Iron Man died and then Captain America essentially died. I thought it was the perfect ending to the MCU, that iteration of it with those guys. And I was like, this movie is fucking amazing. And then Black Widow came out, and I was obviously very excited for it. It should have come out years previous. It should have come out when Captain Marvel came out. But it was such a disappointment, so horrible. It was nothing like Black Widow comics or like she is in the comics. Just so horribly disappointing. And I stopped caring about all Marvel movies until this one. How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, after Endgame, they hit such a climax with that movie that even if you weren't, I'm not that huge of an Avengers fan, but I'll admit that was a good movie. The climax was very entertaining. Everybody, hands down, just enjoyed it. After that, Marvel fell flat. You had a bunch of one-shot movies that nobody really cared about anymore, just trickling out, and it was pretty much the end of the MCU. It trailed off. So I agree with you on that. And this, I've heard good things about this. I heard Chris Gore. Chris Gore with his channel Film Threat.
Yeah.
He liked it, and so did Alan. They were both giving it rave reviews, and
Awesome.
they were surprised about it. They were like, "This is a great movie." So now I'm kind of buying into it. So, yeah.
It seems like people are calling it like which was that Spider-Man? They're all No Way Home. It was Far From Home, or No Way Home was the third one, right? They all have home names.
Yeah.
Okay. Then people are saying it's like the Fox's version of No Way Home, which I loved No Way Home.
Yeah, that makes sense because this movie has a bit of a multiverse thing going on, which in general I don't like, but it worked in No Way Home. That was fun with the three Spider-Men. And then this one, they got like cameos up the wazoo. So, I think that's part of what makes it fun.
Yeah, that's what people have been saying. All kinds of cameos. I don't want to read anything. I went through the comments section of one of the trailers, and I was like, "Nope, get out!" Like I don't, because some people have already seen it, and they're telling people shit, and I'm like, "Oh, I don't want to hear it. I just want to see it." Well, okay, let's play the trailer then, shall we? This is the final trailer.
I know I turn everything into a joke, but I care. I want to use that for something important. I waited a long time for this team up. In my world, you're well regarded. You were an X-Man. Fuck that, you were the X-Man. The Wolverine. He's a hero in my world. Yeah, well, he ain't shit in mine. Scott used to beg me to wear this suit. So did Storm and Beast. But I couldn't have him thinking I wanted to be there. And it was too late. It's only 9 people, but my entire world is right here in this picture. And I have no idea how to save it alone, but you know how to save them.
Whoever you think I am. You got the wrong guy.
You were always the wrong guy. Till you weren't.
Are you ready? Fuck yeah, I'm ready. I'm the Wolverine.
Stop it.
Yeah, that trailer wasn't as funny as the other ones, but
yeah, right. That was kind of lackluster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's X-23, right? The lady.
It was
the little girl lady. Wolverine.
Yeah, she's a full-grown female now.
Now she's over the age of 18, so I could say she looks good.
Now we can say she's kind of hot. Yeah, right. Exactly. Mr. Self-Destruct says mixed feelings about this one, mostly because of Gaga. He's talking about Joker.
Yeah, I don't think
things
Lady Gaga in this one too. What?
Lady Gaga did a good job in American Horror Story. I get good vibes from this one. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up with the chat. When I want a chick flick, I don't want Joaquin Phoenix in it. That's a fair point. I don't think this is a chick flick. These are actually apparently filmed with Bradley Cooper. She did where they had that song together was good too. Oh, A Star Is Born. Yeah, I didn't see it. Mr. Deckhar says boring. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, Kevin Everson, what's up, my guy? Star is Born. That's what he's talking about. Yes, Kevin, that's the movie. Hello, Kevin, says everybody. Patrick finally gets caught up. He's not actually still caught up. The Joker in the animated shows and the films was the best version of Joker ever. Heath Ledger's Joker was great, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't come close to the Killing Joke. Yeah, you're right. No one's really... I mean, I think Jack Nicholson has probably gotten the Joker down the best on film. I don't know.
Nicholson is the best live-action Joker. That's without a doubt.
Yeah.
Ledger's good.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I won't deny Ledger was good, you know. A little bit overhyped, to be honest, because I think him passing away has a little bit to do with that.
Oh, sure.
But I like his interpretation, but it's not a definitive Joker take. So that's why Nicholson has that classic feel. And Nicholson's laugh and smile is just so contagious. You know, you can't help but like Nicholson in that movie.
The timbre of his voice alone is just like, you know, because it's not like too gritty, but it's got just enough growl in it to make you a little afraid of him when he says things.
Yeah.
Wait, of which one?
Of Jack Nicholson.
Hmm.
You know the way Jack Nicholson talks? He's kind of got like maybe it's just from smoking cigarettes and drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
But he's got kind of like a slight rasp to his voice. And that
When he talks at a lower pitch, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I see.
Yes.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah.
It's kind of menacing. You know what I mean? Examoon says, what do you guys think about Boogie 2988 getting liar tattooed to his jawline in Comic Sans?
I don't really know who that is.
Yeah, me neither.
But I don't think it's a good idea. Like, that seems like the wrong thing to advertise. Like, I'm a liar.
Boogie is a YouTuber, you know, one of these guys who just has a big channel, and these are people who I have no interest in all honesty.
Yeah.
It's like,
no,
you're not
like
actually.
a type? What kind of a YouTuber is he?
He's along the lines of what's his name, Ethan Ralph, and basically it's a clown show with these guys. You know what I mean? It's just like they're willing to say and do anything on camera and make a complete jackass of themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. That's yeah, go ahead. You know, there gets to a point where, like, you guys have to realize when human people, because we're all human people. I know, shocking. Well, some of us might be like reptilians, you never know. But when human people like start, their whole life now has become YouTube and they're YouTubers and they just act like the way they expect people, or the way people expect them to act on YouTube. Think about their lives. Like, their lives are probably some of the saddest lives of people ever. Like, they have to put on an act their whole life.
Well, you know, I have to bring this up since we're talking about this. It just happened a few days ago that there was a YouTuber or an online streamer out of, I think it was South Korea, an Asian, a girl who was a mukbanger. You know what mukbang is, just eating on camera. And they do it to an extreme extent. And this is insane because she did a 10-hour live stream in which she ate nonstop and actually ended up dying on camera because her stomach ruptured from eating too much food. Now, I mean,
so they're risking their lives, is what you're saying. These YouTubers, they're putting their life on the line.
It reminds me of the line from Spaceballs. Remember Jabba the Hutt? There was Pizza the Hutt.
Yeah.
Remember Pizza the Hutt, and he said, "Oh, he ate himself to death."
That was like, remember he had that robot guy with him that was like all the people that were around Pizza the Hut would like eat parts of him. They'd be like,
"Yeah, that was gross."
I was like,
"Yeah."
That doesn't. You think he'd want to like not eat them?
We've turned that into a reality now. Eating yourself to death.
Yeah.
My God.
Did you guys hear that story of that lady who was in the eating contest? And part of the contest was like drinking Sprites, I think, or some kind of liquid. And her bladder ruptured and she died from that. Did you guys hear about that? It was like, I don't know, it was like 10 years ago.
I mean, I've even eating contests. I've always felt they're gross. To be honest, even the hot dog contest, you're shoving the hot dogs in your mouth. Who wants to watch that? I've never understood that.
That's actually shoving hot dogs in your mouth. That's how Kamala Harris got to be the new Democratic candidate for presidency.
It's true.
Yeah.
God,
very advantageous, apparently.
We can't go down that road tonight. Exomoon says, Mr. Self-Destruct. Comic Sans sounds like the rural joke there. Again, I fucking love the rural stuff.
Yeah, I don't know why you.
Literally, when I looked up, guys, because today I was making the new opening video with all those ads, and I was looking up the trailer for Inglorious Rex 2, and I literally typed in trailer on accident. And I was like, oh, no, wait.
Trailer is a great word. I like that.
It is. It feels good, We all owe Wodenshot a great debt that none of us can ever repay to him. So thank you, Wodenshot. Mr. Selfstruck says, apparently this movie shares the same or super similar plot as Vito's book. He's talking now about Deadpool, I believe. Yeah. I don't know. I can't get excited for this movie either, says Deckard. No. Looks dumb. No. Give me Lady Deadpool and I might be interested. All right. They'll give you Lady... Okay, do you guys think Lady Deadpool... Do you guys know who Lady Deadpool is?
Yeah.
It's like
I think
a girl version of Deadpool.
Yeah, she's literally Wade Wilson, female. Yeah.
There was a shot
I got it.
in the trailer. There was a shot in the trailer of Deadpool with a blonde hair. I don't know if that was actually Lady Deadpool or just him clowning around.
No, it's Lady Deadpool with the high heels and everything. So do you guys think that they're gonna show her face, or do you think, because then that would beg the question, who's the actress? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
They might do that.
Yeah, if it's like somebody big, of course they're gonna show them.
Deckard says, "Oh shit, is that X-23?" And then he says this. So we got him. We got him, folks. That's all it took was 18-year-old or older hot X-23. We got him.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the cameos is probably the biggest selling point to the movie because that's what kind of pulled me in. When I first saw just Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, I was like, I don't really care. And then now with all the characters, everything going on, I'm more interested.
Well, in just that trailer alone, we saw, I don't think we saw Pyro in that trailer, but we've already seen Pyro, Sabretooth, and Toad. So how many more of the Brotherhood are going to be in this? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Who else is left? Is just Magneto, and was there a girl one too?
Mystique.
Oh yeah, Mystique.
Yeah. I mean, well, if you incorporate, people who've been in the Brotherhood but weren't in the X-Men movies, we've got Blob, we've got see, now I blank. The moment I want to talk about the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, I blank.
Storm.
Well, she's not one of them, but yes, we got Storm who could show up. We've got any and all of the X-Men who could show up. Who was in The Last Stand? We had Marrow, right? Marrow was in that, wasn't she?
Quicksilver.
In a weird version of Psylocke. Yeah, we've got Quicksilver, right? Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, they're both Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
What'd you think about when Quicksilver showed up in the Scarlet Witch show, where it was like that other dude?
That was the last moment that I was like excited for the show. When he showed up in the show, the first time he showed up, I was like, oh, it's about to go down. Like they're about to combine all the universes, and then they fucking fumbled the ball. Like it was the episode after that was just incredibly embarrassing. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce our special guest. Give a warm welcome and a big round of applause to Katie Did. What's up, Katie?
Hey, what's up? What's up? Sorry if you hear crickets in the back. I'm out on the porch with my microphone. So
that's cool. That's cool. It sounds nice. Thanks for coming on.
Hey,
no problem. Yeah, thank you. Sorry I'm late. We we put our kids to bed at 8, and we do story times and stuff. So, but I appreciate y'all, being patient and everything. I do. Thank you so much. It's good to see you, Patrick, Dr. Ben, Herman Hart. It's good to see you. Good to see y'all.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming on. We're currently talking about the Deadpool 3, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, I've seen some previews of that. It looks good, but what do y'all think of it? I mean, do you think it'd be a good movie?
Personally, I've liked Deadpool since I was about 12. I'm one of those kids who was like when Deadpool got big in 2016 when that trailer and movie came out. Everybody was like, "Oh, Deadpool's so cool," and like I was in college at the time, and people would be like, "Oh yeah, Deadpool's so cool. I'm so excited for the movie." Like, and I'd say, "Oh yeah, what are your favorite Deadpool comics?" And they'd be like, "Oh, I don't read the comics." So I was like, "Oh, so you're like a fake Deadpool fan? Okay."
Yeah. Well,
I'm kind of hard. I'm sorry. I'm kind of harsh about that. I was one of those people who's like, "Oh, you got to read the comics, otherwise you don't." But the comics are amazing.
Well, that was a good thing though, because once the Marvel movies got so popular to the point where there were people who got into Marvel who didn't read the comics, that was a good thing because then everybody united.
That's
all the
true.
nerds, were able to be like, actually, I know everything about Deadpool, just in case you want to know.
Yeah. People like me were like super cool for like 2-3 years until like Google started coming out with like, "Oh, this is the background of this character," and they stopped.
Well, it's like back then. It's like when the movies, it's the book is better than the movies, right? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
when a lot Hollywood was trying to take these novels and turn them into movies, especially like Harry Potter back then. I read all the books and I was so disappointed by like what was it, the 4th movie or something, and no, maybe the 2nd, I can't remember, but I was like, wait a minute, that's so out of order. What are y'all doing? Yeah, so you're not the only one. I think you do have to read the comics to see the
Yeah.
movie to understand it. Then that way, if there is something that they put in there or whatnot, you'll know, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why I'm so excited about this movie, and I've been excited about every Deadpool movie that's come out, is because I know first of all that Ryan Reynolds has read the Joe Kelly run, which was it the longest run? 5 years, 97 and 2002. I think it might be the longest run of any person on Deadpool, any singular writer on Deadpool. But then there's the Jerry Dugan and Brian Posen run, which is actually my favorite run. But the Joe Kelly run is the one that I think Ryan Reynolds likes the most. And it's like, yeah, like I said, it was late 90s, early 2000s. So he'll make references to that comic in their like the trailer stuff that they do. Like the weird, like they did Mike's Hard Lemonade in the first movie, and now they're doing, like I think it was a Bumble trailer or something like that. You know how they reach out and do all kinds of different weird trailers.
Yeah.
Movie.
Mm-hmm.
He has made references to the old school Deadpool routinely, and it's like, okay, so he knows what he's doing.
Awesome. So I take it that Deadpool is your all-time favorite.
No, actually.
No?
When I was in college, I would say yeah, but now that I'm older, after I got out of college and kind of grew up a little bit, I would say The Thing from Fantastic Four, Ben Grimm. He's my favorite character.
Oh wow, nice. Yeah, I'm kind of old
choice.
school. I grew up on Batman the animation and the Justice League. All that. Yeah, I grew up on all that. So I would have to say I love Wonder Woman, but I do love Batman. I grew up with him and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Those two are my favorites. So
Batman is my number 1 all-time character.
Is he? Nice.
Yeah.
Let's do top 3 favorite characters. I'll start. The Thing, Deadpool, and then it's a tie between like Doctor Doom and Magneto. Carbon, go ahead.
All right. Well, Batman's number 1, and then I gotta say Superman, because how are you gonna leave Superman out? And then the third one, I haven't thought this through. I mean, you're putting me on the quick, rapid fire here. Third character, all-time comics. Give me a second.
Sure. Katie, are you ready?
I would. Yeah, I say Batman. I do like Superman and Wonder Woman. Those are my three.
Nice.
Those are
Oh,
my three.
DC. Wow. So you're would you call yourself a DC girl? Or
I
woman?
guess.
I'm sorry, you have children.
It's fine. I guess you would say yeah. Yeah. I never really thought of it that way. I never thought of like what part like Marvel DC. I just think of like the characters itself, you know.
Fair
Like
enough.
so yeah, I guess I am a DC girl. You know. So
Nice. Dr. Ben, top 3.
I'm going with Punisher.
Oh, nice.
Probably
Good
Captain
one.
America. Captain America is always like,
yeah.
just
Yes.
you know, and I would say Jack the Ripper, just because there's like a million different versions of Jack the Ripper. So just all of them. Just all.
Well, that's awesome.
This is a
Punisher's
cool
great.
choice.
Wow.
All right, so for my third,
Yeah.
I was balancing between a couple of different characters, but Rorschach from Watchmen is my
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice choice.
Nice.
Let me get caught up with the chat here real quick. Sleeping Psychopathy says it's cool to see a serious trailer. He's referencing the Deadpool trailer. She's not a little girl anymore, lol. No, she's not. Damn it. She sure is, lol. I'm saying hot. She was cute. Yes, very much so.
Thanks, Dexter.
And the Squid, oh yeah, her album with Tony Bennett is dope. Are you talking about is that Lady Gaga?
Lady Gaga, yeah.
Yeah.
She did a jazz
They do
album
make-
with Tony Bennett.
She did?
Yeah, and it was good. I'll admit, I listened to a couple of them. It's good. It's a good album. I do like Tony
Interesting.
Bennett. I grew up with him, so it's it's just sad.
Lady Gaga has a great voice. I mean, I have to admit,
Oh, yeah.
She does.
she's a talented,
She's psycho,
she's a talented
but she's great.
musician.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess maybe she's been caught up in the whole, what would we call that? Mainstream
I know.
music? Yeah. I mean, I guess.
Luciferian cult.
Yeah, right.
Well, there's that too, you know.
That's right. When there was this one guy in my high school who was obsessed with Lady Gaga, and I would routinely shit on her because I was looking at like Soundgarden, and I would see like Lady
Oh.
Gaga do all of her shit, and this was when I was like 17, and so I was just like, she's not real. She doesn't really care about the music. Like, fuck her. Soundgarden's way better. And that's just how our relationship was. And but there was that one time he showed me one video of her just playing on the piano by herself and singing. And it was like, wow, like she's actually super talented if she like plays good music.
And that's the thing. She is talented. She has an amazing voice, but the girl's got a sketchy history, and she's kind of weird. But yeah, I definitely have to say her voice is really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
She did that one movie with what was that one movie she also did? It was a movie she did with I can't think of the actor's name.
Everybody was talking about it earlier. Hold on. Do you have
Stars Born? Bradley Cooper?
Stars Born.
Yes, yeah. That was very good.
Let's see here. Mr. Self-Destruct says the real question is, does Lady Gaga have a dick?
She might not,
think
but she probably
no.
strapped one on though.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, right. To whichever guy's like, that's fine. Let's see. Dekar says, Mr. Self-Destruct, if she does, she's pretty good at tucking it. In her early career, she mostly performed in lingerie and bikini. Never saw a bulge. And Dekar's looking, folks.
Oh, Dekar.
Dekar, thanks for coming in, man. I hope you're enjoying this show.
Yeah.
He's a
Yeah,
YouTuber.
I love
a big one.
Dekar. He's awesome.
So you guys know about him already?
Oh yeah, he comes by my channel. He watches my clips, leave comments. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
cool.
yeah.
Cool. So he's probably like not to be mean to Dekar, but like kind of like herpes when you commented on our show the other night. Maybe he was watching the show and he just like spread. You know what I'm saying?
No, I invited him. I tagged him. I tagged him on Twitter.
Oh, you did? Okay.
He's a regular on Comicsgate channels.
Sorry
He
for
is.
calling
He's
you
a good
herpes,
supporter.
Dekar.
He's a great supporter.
I meant it in a good way. Kevin Everson says, no, Stephanie Germania does not have a dick. Do you know this as a matter of fact, Kevin?
Yeah, that's what I was about.
Have you investigated?
Inspected.
Oh, Lord.
Dekar says he faked cancer recently. It's drama alert stuff. I'm sorry. Who is he referencing there? I'm lost.
Boogie.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
Boogie,
Boogie.
Mr. Self-Destruct says, that's the best way I can verbalize that. Sleeping Psychopathy, one of the firsts on YouTube, who's apparently the everyday man. This Boogie guy. How do I not have never heard of this guy before? I want to be a doggo, people.
What does that mean?
Does that mean you're a furry? Yeah. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
Oh, yeah.
Reptiles are real, dude. They
We'll
are.
just move on.
You're
Move on
right.
from that.
Yeah.
Oh, saw someone mention that in chat. Exploded. OMG, that's two gunshots. Gunshots are the most painful gunshots. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
No,
That
I
girl.
can't.
Oh God. Terrible way to go.
I mukbanged on Kick once a whole jar of peanut butter for like $25.
Ugh.
Oh.
How did you do that?
How did this even start? Like,
That's what I'm just.
Yeah.
okay.
That escalated really quickly, and by like really quickly, I mean like instantly. You went to eating a whole jar of peanut butter.
What, don't do a 10-hour. Yeah, don't do the 10-hour where you almost die thing. That doesn't. $25 isn't worth it. Don't. Was Katie here when you were talking earlier about the lady that died because she was eating so much on stream?
I was listening to y'all as I was setting up. So what did she eat that
Yeah,
that made her that killed her?
She was
What it?
eating. It was a whole lineup because there was a 10-hour stream, and apparently around hour 5 is when it was over because it was. She had a lot of seafood in there too. You know these Asians, they'll eat anything too.
Oh, so
You
was
know,
she
so-
fat though?
Was she fat?
She wasn't
Like, I'm wondering
fat,
how much previous storage space she had. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
Look, either way, mukbang is just a bad idea. And they're talking about this. This might change things because YouTube might change their rules to no longer allow mukbang
Oh my god.
because it's a mutually destructive habit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the addiction gets formed. The audience feeds into it. It's like watching somebody harm themselves on stream. You know?
Yeah, but don't you feel like every time YouTube puts more restrictions on anything at all, it's like less freedom of speech? Like there's just always some kind of underlying.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're deleting comments out of chats and stuff. Like, I've been noticing that recently. Like, I mean, I guess it's election season, but man, they are really cracking down on some stuff. Like, I did a stream, what was it, Tuesday, going into investigating Lucifer Valentine, and I figured my stream was going to be gone when I got done, but it's still up and monetized. So I was like, oh, okay, well, that's odd. Because I had a
That
feeling
means that the Saska sisters haven't sucked enough of the elite's dicks yet. That's all that means.
God, that was the roughest 5 hours I've ever done. But I'm glad I did it because it needed to be talked about. But I knew right when I got done, I was like, this thing's gonna get struck. They're gonna take this thing right off my channel. And sure enough, they didn't. I was shocked. I'm still shocked. I'm still waiting for YouTube to send me an email saying, by the way, you know that stream you did? Yeah, that's gotta go. So.
You see, ladies and gentlemen, we have heroes laying down their lives like Katie did to watch all this filthy, degenerate shit that we don't want to watch so that she can clip it and tell us and let us know so that we don't have to spend all this time to figure out what's real and what's not.
Dude, it rots my brain sometimes. Sometimes I have to literally take a break because it's just it's really hard to listen to people in streams that you just can't stand. And I mean, I'm thankful for this everything, but it's hard.
Katie, were you a fan of Eric July before all the shit between him and EVS? Did you know about him?
So yes, I knew about him. I watched F&T and Geeks and Gamers and all that, especially during the time when Trump was in office. And I I watched mainly Eric when he was doing Monetizing Your Haters. I watched a couple of that, but he mainly was on a lot of the shows, and I didn't mind. And so when he came out with the comic, I was like, I just had my son, and I was like, I really want to get my kids into reading. I've been wanting to get like, I hate that, like, I grew up, my parents not giving me comics, stuff like that. Like, there's things that, like, I wish they would have done that now I'm going to try to make sure my kids get involved in comics. But
Is
I
she
was
cut
like,
out for
this would
everyone
be
else, or
great.
is it just me?
What?
What'd you say, Dr. Ben? Oh no, Dr. Ben's
It might
dead
just
now.
been me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Dr. Ben, something happened to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like,
So
I was watching, and like your head was like shaking, and like Katie like roboted out, and I'm like, but you're still.
Oh,
Yeah,
there you
see,
go.
now you're roboting out. Katie,
Poor
continue,
Dr.
and
Ben.
Dr. Ben he'll hear it later.
Okay. Well, so when he came out with Isom, I was like, and I remember I saw like the Isom 2 trailer and all, and I was like, I actually got excited. I was like, great, because he promoted this is a non-woke book, because I really want to make sure my kids don't get influenced by trash like that. And that's a whole other topic for another day. But the point is, so I thought, okay, this is great. I'll get this for my son. So when he gets a little older and we start reading, this will be great. This is a great way to start. And to make a long story short, there was just some things that, like, there was a lot of red flags, like kind of like his attitude, the stuck-upness. But then, the big red flag was when he was pissed off at Dick Masterson's notes. And I sat there and say, like, why should you care? You made all this money. Who gives a fuck what Dick Masterson has to say? Like, you're supposed to be an example, a role model. Like, you're doing these comics. There's kids that are going to look up to you, teenagers. You need to not spurg out on the internet. But then when Nick Rekieta's stream came, and I remember because I watched it live. Of course, Flashcast, that situation, that was a red flag too. But
Yeah.
Nick Rekieta was the one that sealed the deal for me. Because I was a fan of Nick Rekieta. So I remember watching it live. And just the lying, man. I just
cringy
couldn't.
as fuck.
It is. It's a turn off when somebody has to kind of rewrite what they said when you're confronting them about it, and that's what he was doing on stream with Nick Rekieta. I remember that, and there was a huge turn off. It's like, dude, you're reiterating and like retelling it as if you were perfect the whole way through. So I know what you're talking about, Katie.
Yeah, and then the day after he did the stream, Eric did, and that was just like, wow. And then he put his comics for like $5 and said, use the promo code pull up. And I was like, wait a minute, why are you sending this comic for $5 when you made everybody pay $35? Like, that's kind of wrong, right? Like, you just made a lot of your fans pay that money. It's 50 some dollars after shipping. And then you're going to turn around the day after Nick's stream and say, oh, it's $5, just use the promo code pull up. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
yeah.
So I said, I've had enough. I'm
all
done.
that would have been okay. Like, it would have been something, maybe not cool, not been okay, but like, it would have been something. But then when he does pull up and then he gets him arrested, like, it's probably the most faggy thing I've ever seen from a person on YouTube ever.
Well, and this is what got me. Yeah, and because maybe I see it different from everybody else, because I've actually talked to Riley and Mint, like I know them. I've had private conversations with them. They're really good people. They're very, very nice, very thoughtful. Do I agree with a lot Mint does? No, but I'm not gonna judge her for it. That's her life, not mine. She's been great to me, so why would I judge someone? But anyway, so. After that, he did a stream. Eric did a stream where he pretty much went out, bitched about Nick Rekieta, EVS, Dick Masterson, all of them. And I was driving around doing some errands, and I paused it, and I said, well, I'll listen to it when I I have to wash the dishes or fold the laundry later, I'll listen to something while I'm doing that. So I get in the house and I get settled and I'm about to do those chores and so I turn it on and the stream's private. And I'm like, what the hell happened? So I had a wild hair up my ass and I said, I only got like 5 Twitter followers. I'm sure I'll get no response at all because I'm just some little Twitter person. And I put out and actually Frog Tony did a video on my tweet before him and I even met. So I put out a tweet and I said, Eric, why did you private the stream? Was it because you're talking about this person, this, and I tagged them all. And I said, you need to stand up, be a man, stand up for what you say. Don't pussy out of it. If this is how you truly feel, then stand by it. Don't hide it. What was the point of all that if you're just gonna private it? Like, to me, it's like you need to be a man. I don't know. To me, it's like stand up for what you believe. I might not agree with what you believe, but stand up for it, man. Why are you doing this? It makes it look so sketchy that you private that stream. Like, so I put that tweet out, and no joke, for 2 days straight, my phone blew up. I had ripitards coming at me from all directions. I did have some people from Comicsgate say, hey, no, he actually did private. Because one person was saying, no, he makes his streams to members only when he's done. And I said, well, no, I've been on YouTube for a while. I know what it looks like. He's privated. It's not members. And so then Eric responded and said, I don't know what you're talking about. You're just drama farming. And I said, I was going to buy your comic because I was going to get some good comics for my son. I was planning to buy yours for him. And now after I see the way you're acting, I don't want to buy the comic. I'm done. And so he told me, he's like, well, I took the stream down because of copyright. And I replied back, I said, copyright? You played your Alpha Core trailer. How's that copyright? You didn't play no other video but the Alpha Core one. So what are you talking about? So, yeah, so my tweet blew up to the point where I was like, fuck it, I'm going to delete it. I can't stand this shit anymore. I'm tired of my phone going off every 5 seconds. So I deleted it. And then someone obviously screenshotted and put it up. And I was like, you know what? Thanks for the screenshot. I'll put that back up. And I did. So, yeah, and then I got onto Tony's streams, and the rest is history. And here I am. So, but my first clip I did was Yellow Flash when he made a statement after that whole shit went down.
Yellow Flash is such a fucking loser.
He hates me.
Real quick, Nicholas McHugh says, "Ahoy! What's up, Nicholas? How you doing today?"
Hey, Nicholas.
Continue.
No, Yellow Flash hates my guts. Like, he makes it very well known that I'm on his shit list, and so. And the thing of it is I never
loser. Like, is there anything like? Is there
I don't know what it is.
Redeeming value to Yellow Flash whatsoever? He's like a less interesting, more drunk quartering. I guess that's the best way to put it.
And I did a stream one night, and actually EVS popped on it. It was I was doing a Blast from the Past series, and he jumped on the stream, and I showed him some clips of Yellow Flash saying some shit about me, and he said, "What made Yellow Flash come after you?" I said, "I don't know. Maybe because I was clipping Eric July and all his friends, and maybe he didn't like that. Like, I never clipped this guy. I never went after him, and so he just mad because I went after Eric and I'm a detractor. So he's making his life mission to put out false allegations about me, just spread really nasty shit and rumors, and which is fine. It's whatever, dude. Do your thing. Go ahead. Keep doing what you're doing, and that's fine because I'll screenshot it all and I'll put it in my little folder for a sunny day when I have to use it. I don't know, but.
Yeah, Yellow Flash, I gotta admit, when he started out with his Flashcast, it used to be a great stream, because
it did. I loved Flashcast. I used to watch it all the time.
All the commentators were on there, and they kept up with everything going on in media, and I agreed with them. Unfortunately, this recent thing, Eric July, was very polarizing because that was a turning point where, once Flash decided, I'm gonna side with Eric July versus Ethan and Comicsgate overall. It was such a turnoff for me because I didn't even feel like watching Flashcast anymore after that.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing too, is honestly, if it wasn't for Eric July coming in here into the space and doing this comic, the hypocrisy wouldn't be exposed. We would all still be watching him and whatnot. But they showed their cards when, they're propping Eric up and all this stuff. And we're not asking you to shit on Eric, but let's be honest. You've been training the audience of what's good, what's bad, what's a great movie, what's a great whatever. You've been literally training your audience to pick out what is good content and what is not. And here you have Eric coming in here, and like the Gyra trailer really showed it, where they were all like, "Oh, that's great," and I'm like, if this was done by Marvel, you guys would be shitting all over it. Like, I know he's your friend, but like, do you if he's your friend, wouldn't you want to say, "Hey, man, I think you could do this and this and this," but they won't because they need him for the viewers and the money, and he needs them for the same thing. So they're using each other. It's a really weird circle jerk. And the thing of it is Eric July doesn't realize that they're using him. But see, he thinks that, oh no, I'm using. It's so crazy. It's like something you see on Days of Our Lives soap opera, and just showing the hypocrisy.
They're not being honest about the content because you have to be able to give a critique, like Ethan said, and Dick Masterson. Well, forget about Dick Masterson because he's a bit of a shock jock radio guy, so that's kind of his shtick. But Ethan was being completely honest where he said, "Look, you're gonna get some criticism that you might not like. Some of it, and the whole bad faith thing. That was a good point because if it's accurate to what's actually in the book, if the criticism is describing what's in the book, it doesn't matter who it's coming from, because it could be a valid critique, and you could always learn from a critique. It's like, especially as a musician, right,
Yes.
Patrick? You play music. If everybody were to say, "Hey, that sounds good," and your guitar's out of tune, or you're off key when you're singing, you're going to stay exactly where you are. You need people to be like, "Hey, man, you got to fix this. You got to fix this and that."
Mr. Self-Destruct says it's called a circle jerk, Katie.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, and you know what's funny? You say that, Carmen Hart, because actually one night I did a 7-hour stream, and I don't think I can ever do that again. But I wanted to,
God
7
damn.
hours. I had Jimmy Ray as BA. I had people coming in, Kami Mark, all of them. But we were
great people, all of them, by the way.
Yes, I love them all. They're wonderful, wonderful people. And so what I was doing was I said, we all know, we've all seen where, Dick comes on Flashcast and they have their spat. Let's look at what happened before. Let's look at the conversation between him and Ethan, because I think it's probably the most important conversation we need to look at, because it was the start of everything. And so, we're sitting here watching him, like, honestly, I think EVS was being very polite and being very sincere, and he wasn't being a jerk about it, but he was being real with Eric. And honestly, at that point, he was the only one that was being real with Eric. And he was trying to teach him a lesson and show him, like, it sucks to hear people criticize you, but you might learn something from that. Like, for me, for instance, while back, I watched a particular stream of a particular person who was criticizing the shit out of me. Yeah, was it hard to listen to? But I actually learned some things, like, okay, maybe I don't need the background music up so high. Okay, maybe when I'm explaining myself, I need to be more detailed. I took little things like that, and it hurts, but we have to hear these criticisms of ourselves in order for us to get better. So it's just been crazy, man. I don't understand. Just, it's almost like a cabal. It's starting to look like a cabal. Like, no matter what Eric does or anybody does, they're innocent. They'll get propped up, and I don't know. Like, if you really want to see Eric's comic do good, then maybe I should have sat down in private with him and be like, look, man, I think you need to fix this and this. But see, when Eric sent that quote unquote night letter, that kind of gave everybody the heads up, like, okay, maybe we need to just shut our mouths because we're depending on his subscribers and the money and the super chats. Like,
And the goodwill,
yeah.
Well, I agree with what Ethan did because if somebody who's defiant, usually guys, if you're confronted with a challenge like that, saying, hey, you better shut your mouth, otherwise I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. You got two choices. Either you're gonna go, oh, okay, I'm sorry, but you can't lay down like that in life, or you're gonna say, hey, man, no, I'm pushing back and I'm confronting you, and I'm gonna blow this whole thing wide open, and that was the right choice.
Well, there's different kinds of people. There's the kind of person who's like, no, I'm not going to comply with you, but I'm also not going to blow up at you. And then there's, like, let's be honest, Ethan's kind of a narcissist, but
yeah,
like, let's be like, every person has something to offer to the world. And sometimes that means even in the face of their own flaws. I've got a ton of flaws. One of Ethan's flaws is that he's I wouldn't call him like an incredible narcissist because
he's a narcissist and he has got a big ego.
Yeah, but at the same time, his ego, like the reason he has such a big ego is because he's actually that fucking good at drawing. Like he's
been in the industry for 30 some years. I mean, literally beaten up every day, being criticized every day.
Yes. By some guy who's like, fix this or you're fucking fired. So he has to fix, like, you have to take the criticism.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. As an artist, and I'm not just talking about myself, anybody, right? And Ethan made a point to this degree at one point, but I've heard this from other musicians. You have to believe, if you're an artist or you're a creator to any extent, you have to view yourself as better than what you already are in order to achieve that.
100%.
And that's where the ego comes from, because that's where the confidence comes from. It's like, I haven't made a name for myself yet, to a degree, but I think it's even more than that, because it's like, I haven't made it yet. I haven't succeeded yet, but I believe that I can. I have faith in my own talent, and that's where that people call it arrogance. No, it's just you having confidence in your potential. But you need that as an artist, no matter what it is.
Exactly, I agree with you, Carbon Heart.
Mr. Deckard, I'm sorry, real quick. Mr. Deckard says,
go ahead.
Eric's too hostile to even approach personally. According to Nick Ricada, I'm sorry, he's even more intimidating when he's off camera. Dude, I tell you what, I would love to meet Eric July in person because there's a lot of people who are very, very aggressive online, but then when you meet them in person and they realize that they can't actually like beat you up in person, that they instantly become a lot more humble. And I would love to meet him. I just look at the way Ethan talks about his daughter Ava and his wife Andrea and the love that he has for them, and that's all I need to know about him. You know what? I think Deckard makes probably one of the best points about Ethan Van Sciver ever. I honestly do. Ethan is incredibly prideful. He's also incredibly talented. He has no respect for most people except for people who have earned his respect. And I think that the reason that he does what he does, like Trashcast, for instance, people complain about Trashcast. Why is he constantly shitting on he's just shitting on this black man, as Johnny Scab says, he's making money. So why, you gotta use your white guilt.
Johnny Scab.
Dude, Johnny Scab is fucking amazing. But
I love that dude.
I think that Ethan does it all and has no qualms about it whatsoever because of this exact thing right here. He loves his wife and he loves not only just his daughter Ava, but all of his children. And he's like, oh, I'm not going to let anybody fuck around with me and my family. Like, I'm going to do what needs to be done to make money for me and my family, predominantly his family. Because, I mean, like my sister-in-law, for instance, has, like, my brother and my sister-in-law have a child who is, I don't want to go into the specifics, but there's issues, and
Oh.
they bend over backwards, and that's
Yeah.
what a good parent does. And that's, I think, what Ethan is doing, particularly in this
Yes.
case. He's like, "What's that? You're talking shit, and you're doing all kinds of crazy, weird, kind of faggy stuff. Well, then I'm gonna respond in like kind, except with the truth. And now, not only are you gonna suffer, but I'm gonna make a ton of money for my family." Which is like, I can't argue with that,
No, can't
Great
argue
job.
with it. And I
Great point,
know
Deckard.
there's some people in Comicsgate who really do hate Trash Cast and all that, but they also need to understand that it has to happen, man. Everybody's been, walk around on eggshells, just trying to keep their P's and Q's, not piss anybody off. No, it's time to start exposing these people and then let the audience decide, let the viewers decide if he's right or wrong. I'm glad he's doing Trash Cast. Although I knew when he threw his headphones and stuff, I said, okay, bro, you gotta take a break from this shit, because even a detractor myself, it wears you out. It really does. And that's why I try to suggest him, like, why don't you try to do it maybe once or twice a week? Don't overwhelm yourself with it. It can really eat at you, especially when you know about the Saskas and that whole situation. And yeah, I'm glad he did
that
it. 'Cause
moment, Katie, that moment where he threw the headphones, I remember that because it was late at night. It was like at 1 a.m. Eastern time, and I was in bed listening. He reacted to Az screaming in the video, and
yeah,
I
you
had
got
a
woke
similar.
up too.
Yeah, it made me jump out of bed because I was like, "What is this guy doing?" Yelling on the video, and then Ethan got pissed off and hit his camera. So I totally I understood his reaction because, like, someone screaming in your headphones all of a sudden, like, it's enough to make you angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is, like Katie, you said earlier, like it is, and that's what I was trying to make the point of earlier. Like, I thank you for doing this because, like, there was a point, like I used to listen to Eric July and Az and FNT and all those guys all the time, and now, like there was a point in which, like, oh, okay, I stopped agreeing with them, but I still listened to them just to like hear what they had to say, because I feel like that's what
Right.
everybody should do. You got to listen to what other people have to say. But it got to a point where it was just like, I cannot fucking stand listening to this person because I know how much all of this is fucking lies. It's all garbage,
Yes, and
And I just I can't do it. So thank you for doing it for everybody.
No problem. No, it's crazy because it's like once the veil is lifted, like you see everything so different. Like it's crazy for me. Like I'm like you, Patrick. I watched them all the time. I loved it. And then when Eric July came around and all this stuff happened, it's like I can't unsee what I see. Like I can't go back to that. I know what's really going on. Especially
the art from the artists.
Yeah, well, we're also aware that some of them are watching our streams. They know us detractors very, very well, and it just everything, man. It's really sad because I'm a conservative. I'm a Trump supporter, and there's a lot of things politically I can agree with them, but it's also hard because I know what the grift is. Does that make sense? Like it's
Yeah.
just. It's not
It
genuine
gets to a point where you
anymore.
wonder whether or not Eric July was ever honest to begin with. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yes, it makes you wonder if all of them were ever honest from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure at one point they were very sincere and honest, but now I don't even think they're honest with their viewers half the time, and it's nothing but rage bait content. There's only so much people can take with that. Like, it can get overwhelming for some, and I get. Go ahead.
They've gotten stuck in a loop, basically. It's like
Yes, that's the best way to explain it. Yes.
FNT and Eric July, they built up a huge audience with that model of complaining, and they got stuck in it, and now there's nowhere for them to go, pretty much, and that's why I think they've been losing viewers. Ultimately, it's going to keep on going down. That's why some of them are trying to create products, because they could see that they need another way to stimulate the income. So, with making some books, making some T-shirts
Is
and
there
whatnot.
anything more sad though than these? Literally, like all they are YouTubers, and if you've watched them long enough, and then you saw all this shit, you know that these people have no talent outside other than like making YouTube videos. Like Nerdrotic, for
Exactly.
instance, not a talented individual. Like
No,
he
he's
can,
actually awful with streams. Like when I
yes.
clipped him, he's really bad about there being like like quiet moments in the stream, or like he's struggling to read. He's really not that good.
No.
It's
And he
crazy.
doesn't know how to write a comic book. I mean, like, please, I would love to be proven wrong. Like, if anybody can show me a point at which Yellow Flash ever showed that he was capable of writing a comic book. Now, I know that my comic book just came out and people are seeing it now and they'll decide whether or not it's good or not. Most of them might say it's shit. Who knows? I don't know. But at the very least, I'm not pretending to be like some, it blows
You're
my mind that,
humble.
right.
You're
And I'm willing
humble
to
about
accept
it.
your criticism. Like, I want the criticism, actually, because I
Yes.
want to be a comic book writer. And if I'm not good enough right now, tell me what I'm not doing right and I'll fix it and it'll be good. It'll be better next time. But like, these people go into this thinking that everybody's going to love their comic book. Yellow Flash, Nerdrotic, like it blows my mind. Like, yeah, you've read a bunch of comic books, but it's not that fucking easy to write a comic book. And the moment you start having to put words to visual images, and then you start having to incorporate in page requirements, like you're not made of, like maybe these guys are made of money, so maybe they don't care at all. But when you're not made of money like me, you have to like look at the things that you've written and be like, okay, so I have to pay an artist to draw this. Is all of this that I've written worth it? Or can I take some of it out? Or can I, edit it in some way? These guys, they have so much money. I don't even think they're thinking about that kind of stuff. They're like, oh, 60 pages? Easy. Here you go. 60 fucking pages. You guys know how much that fucking costs?
Yeah.
I'm
Pat,
sure it costs a
though,
pretty penny.
I do think that not all of them are necessarily the same, because we know that Razorfist made a book and he started out as a fan YouTuber. Yellow Flash has been working on this for a while, apparently. And truth be told, you never know until you actually get the book in your hands. And you're right, that is a segue, because we need to get into the comic reviews. I've received some of these books within the past week. But let me start off, Patrick, because within the last week, I got a book, and I've read it now. And I gotta tell you, you're not gonna believe this. Blown out of the water. Blown out of the water.
What book
You
was
talking
it?
about Godlike or Inglorious Rex?
No, you're not gonna believe this. Dino King.
I was about to say this is like deja vu.
What?
The book of the year. No, I actually did get Dino King in the mail, though, and I did read it.
I'm waiting on mine. I packed it, so.
Yeah, that was a reference to no, but in all seriousness, I am excited to talk about all the books I've read. I got a whole stack here. I did get your book, Patrick. I did read it. I have my critique. We'll get to it.
Okay.
As well as
Which do you want to start with here? Kevin Everson says my book was an A-. Dude, thank you so much. An A-. That's a great score, I feel like. But so we'll let Carbon, since Colonel Carbon Hart here is the co-host of the Comicsgate Commandos, and if I were to ever die in some horrible suicide accident that the CIA
oh my God,
happen to me,
Colonel,
it could happen. I am officially saying that Colonel Carbon Hart would be the host of Comicsgate Commandos if I was to ever be offed by the federal government. So, Colonel Carbon Hart, Colonel, which comic would you like to start with? We've got Ghost of the Badlands, Inglorious Rex 2, and Godlike that we have. We can talk about today. We don't have to talk about all of them today. We could talk about another one next week too.
Let's
So we
start
don't have
with
to.
Godlike. Let's start with
Okay.
Godlike. There's a lot to say about Godlike, and I think
So why
by
don't you
now.
go ahead and give us
Yeah,
your
I want to hear
overall
this.
opinion.
Yeah, I think by now I think he finished fulfilling, and most people have read it by now, if you backed it. So yeah, last week I started out by saying, yeah, it's beautiful, with that matte finish.
Yeah.
And it's funny. The original cover, I regret
Wait, did
not
Dale
getting.
Keown?
I regret not getting.
That's Dale Keown. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, Patrick. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was like, wait a minute, that's Dale Keown, ain't it?
No, it's cool. The initial cover is great too. That is the controversial blank splash page, double splash black page that I've seen a lot of people complain about, and I'll comment on that as well. Yeah, beautiful art.
Wow.
The art is actually the strongest selling point to this book.
Yeah, I would say
I
it's
would give
gorgeous.
the art. Yeah, the art is the highest rated out of. So I'm going to give a breakdown. I've read the book twice already. I prepared to talk about it, and
Yes.
we'll start with the art. Yeah, so I would give the art 9.5 out of 10. It's consistent, start to finish. The coloring is gorgeous. I believe John gave it his all. You could see it on all the artwork. Like the characters, models, the anatomy. It looks beautiful. He's not afraid of drawing people looking attractive. That's another thing. Like everybody looks really good. There's eye candy for both men and women. Like a bunch of handsome guys in peak physical condition, and also gorgeous women as well. So he gave a little bit of both. So art obviously is not. He did not skimp on that, and I think that's to be expected. He's first and foremost an artist. So a lot of people, they have more of a critique on the writing, the story, the narrative. And so on that, I could tell you, Patrick, I'm sure he'll come back.
I was gonna say, did CIA come and get him?
Sorry, something happened to me.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
let me do stories. I finished art. I don't know if Ben Smith, the colorist, they were joking around about Ben Smith being a fake name for Kyle Ritter.
Yeah.
It could be Kyle Ritter. The colors are amazing. I've come to learn in the past couple of years, colors are vastly underrated in terms of transforming the art. It's amazing. But anyway, let me go to the story of the book. Overall story and concept of Godlike, I was impressed. I gotta say. So, out of a 10, though, because I gave the art very high, and I do believe the art is like top notch. Story, though, I'm not going to push it to the 10 because there's a lot of great stories out there, and it's hard to be original these days. He made a sci-fi, like a quasi-historical tale, epic tale is what Godlike is. And there's a lot in it. He put romance, he put action, there's drama, there's spirituality in it, which I was impressed about. But out of 10, I would say 8.5 on the story. I'll give you a little. Without spoiling it. I'm going to give you one detail that is specifically impressive about the story. And there's a narrative arc to the book in which it builds up. And this is why you need to read it twice, because I think sometimes the first run of something, same thing with music. You ever listen to a song or an album, and the first run is just like your reaction, you didn't really absorb it. You need to listen to it again, and then on the second run, you're really listening to it on the second run. On the second run, I felt the narrative arc. It was a good build-up. So it starts out with this introduction. A lot of people complained about the intro to the book. I'll get to that in a second. But on the second read, I liked the arc. It gives you a nice quiet introduction. Has a bit of a Star Wars feel, where you're given this slow intro to a universal tale. Because it involves multiple planets, a vast history of races throughout planets, and the climax was, I have to admit, the strongest point of the book. He built up the middle of the book had a great action scene, right? So you had a good medium level action in the middle. Climax, it built up on an emotional level, and in terms of the mystery being revealed. There was a mystery being revealed towards the last quarter of the book. And once you get to that climactic explanation, it was like he was right on the money, dude. Like, especially with a page turn. There's a few specific page turns within the last few pages where you're like, oh yeah, boy, you did it. You did it here. So that was the feeling you had, and I was greatly impressed with it. And it was spiritual, it was metaphorical, and it was powerful. I loved it. So story, 8.5 out of 10. Now let me cap off my review with the writing element, right? So because I did art.
Real quick, Carbon, are you including the supplemental in the story too?
No, I am only talking. That's a great question. I'm only talking about the main book.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm only talking about the main book. So art 9.5, story 8.5, which is still a very good score. Writing is the weakest of the three. Not in terms of everything was accurate. There's no errors. There's no grammatical issues. The writing is fine in terms of a technical standpoint, but from a narrative flow standpoint, the biggest criticism everybody has had so far, the first 2 pages of the book, they refer to it as an exposition dump, and it's true. The first 4 pages it feels like you're reading a novel to a degree, and people said, "What is this?"
I've heard of that criticism, yeah.
Is it like a lot of words with no illustrations, or like what do you mean with the info?
Just a lot of
illustrations, but a lot of words.
The illustrations are there, and it looks great. It's still good, and the content is good, but it's very dense. The first 4 pages is dense in terms of reading a description of the world, an exposition that introduces the world. That I felt it would have been better if he could have cut that by 50%. If he had 50% text in those first few pages, it still would have introduced the world very well enough, and then you let the rest of the book elaborate the world, through the telling of the tale visually. And that was the only weak point, and it's not that bad of a weak point to really take away from the overall book, because once you get past those first 4 pages, to be honest, the rest of the book I don't have really any issues with it. Those blank pages that Patrick showed, that was a dramatic effect that happened during a climactic event. I didn't have an issue with it. I thought it worked. I thought it was cool. It was unique. So anybody, I've seen some people whining in the chat, not our chat, in other chats, being like, "Oh, there's blank pages. What a lazy asshole." That anyone who says that is just being stupid. It was for a dramatic effect.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Legitimately, folks, like, okay,
Yeah, I've
okay.
known a few of those.
From a person who's made a comic book before, like, if I were to say, all right, I want these 2 pages blank, what I'm essentially saying is, hey, I want to spend, this amount of money to have nothing on the pages whatsoever. You have to think about it from this perspective. John Malin is the artist for his own book. So if he wants to put 2 black pages there, what he's trying to do is he's trying to make a point. He's trying to express something with 2 blank pages.
Yeah.
Me as a writer, if I put 2 blank pages there, I'm wasting money. Him as the artist, if he puts 2 blank pages there, he's trying to make a point. He's trying to show you something. So
that's a good point. I didn't think about it that way.
It's not like a a weird thing for John to do. For John to do 2 blank pages, he's making a point, not, oh, I'm being lazy and trying to. Because what is expressed by 2 black pages? Literally nothing at all except nothingness, right? And then the next page is like a picture of the universe, kind of. It's like stars and shit like that. So then he's expressing a different idea. But first he expressed nothingness in 2 full pages. And as the artist, when he does that, he's making a point, like a narrative point with that.
Yeah, it was very cinematic. And once you read those pages, you'll see what I mean. Because it leads to that, and then it explodes after that. And so if it were a movie, it would be a fade to black scene, and then, an eruption.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
I thought it was good. Anyway, let me just finish up. To cap it all off, I would give the writing an 8 out of 10. So overall score between art 9.5, story 8.5, writing 8. I would give the book an 8.5 out of 10 overall, which I think is very strong.
Yeah. The real question, Carbon, is: are you going to be buying Godlike 2?
Absolutely. And, I'll say that this is definitely one of the best Comicsgate books. A lot of people hate on some of the Comicsgate guys, and John Millen in particular, whatever, he's an asshole. Yeah, he is an asshole, let's be honest. But he's talented, And so I will be continuing to buy this book, absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, this here is the sign up for Godlike 2. Yeah, this here too. Listen here, folks. You want to sign up for Godlike 2, you got to go on over to this page here and put your email in right in there. And that right here, look, I put my email right here. I'll show you guys my email.
You're speaking my people's language there, bud.
I'm pretty darn good at it. It's funny, Katie,
are.
I told you how I was doing. I had my sister's wedding. My sister got married, folks. Thank God. No, I mean that. Like, I really hope she would get married. Like, I want her to be happy.
Oh.
But anyway, folks, real quick, go over to here to Indiegogo. It's not on Kickstarter. Shocker, I know. And sign up for Godlike 2. But yeah, my sister got married. I wrote a hoedown for her. And we sang it there at the wedding, or at the the reception, obviously.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It was a lot of fun. It was a great time. And it's actually funny too, because I forgot to tell her when she was in her dress and everything that she looked beautiful. And I was like, oh fuck. I felt so bad about it, because my coworkers were like, you piece of shit. Like, you didn't tell her she looked beautiful in her wedding dress. And I was like, fuck. Like, I realized what fuck up I made. And so I texted her a couple days ago, and I was like, you look beautiful, you were gorgeous, all that, yada yada. And she was like, thanks for the hoedown, and thanks for the almost hoedown with the DJ. Because the DJ, ladies and gentlemen, this guy, he showed up like he must have been, he must have been stoned off of his gourd or drunk as fuck. Well, maybe not that drunk, but certainly drinking some or really stoned. And he was just like, That's Life by Frank Sinatra started 5 times. 5 times. And then he
during
kept
the reception
restarting.
or the ceremony?
Yes. Like, she had her dance with her husband, Landon, and which is a horrible name, but I still love him. At least he's not German. And it's a slight bit of racism from Patrick there. I'm just kidding. It's a joke, everybody. But no, he's actually not German. That's not a joke. He's actually not German. But she had her dance with him, and then That's Life came on. So, the beginning. And it would start. It started like 5 fucking times. And my brother and I looked at each other, and we were like, this is unacceptable. Like, this is our sister's marriage. Like, our last, because our other sister got married. So this is our last sister, the last one to get married. So we went up to the DJ, and like I said, there was something wrong with him. He was either on drugs or drunk or something.
He was on something.
He was on something. And we were like, dude, what's the issue here? And he's like, I can't even connect to Wi-Fi. And the wedding manager or whatever, she comes over and she's like, he hasn't even logged into the Wi-Fi. And it was at that point that me and my brother kind of like put the fear of God into this guy. And you guys who've been listening for a while, you know that I do kickboxing. So like we were talking to this guy, like, and my brother was going hard. He was like, look, buddy, you've been fucking up all night long. You better fucking fix this shit or we're going to come back here. And I was like, Michael. So Michael was the bad cop and I was the good cop. I was like, look, buddy, this is our youngest sister. And he's like, at this point, he's kind of scared about Michael. And I'm like, so you're going to make this right? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to make it right. And we're like, okay, good. Because we would hate to come back over here and talk to you again.
Well, it costs a lot of money. DJs are not cheap.
It cost $1,000, and my parents actually got their money back because the dude was off his rocker. And yeah, my parents, like, my mom was the first one to talk to the wedding planner about him, and my brother Michael and I, my oldest brother, because I have 4 brothers. We're an Irish Catholic family, so we got 7 kids in the family, and we were looking over at her talking to the wedding planner. We're like, this isn't gonna accomplish anything. You know what I mean? So we were like, we got to take matters into our own hands. And at a certain point, like I said, my mom was like, no, don't. You want to respect your mother's wishes. But then at a certain point, it was just like this guy was fucking up so hard that we were like, okay. So we went and put the fear of God into him. And then everything worked from then on out. But he started playing Get Low. I don't know who it's by, but you guys know that song?
Yeah.
Get Low.
Little John.
Yeah, well, like nearly 40%. Yeah. Nearly 40% of the wedding audience was little children, like my nieces and nephews. So we were like, so my other brother Joseph went up and was like, "This isn't gonna work. Just give me your phone." And so he fucking unplugged the guy's phone and plugged his own in and started playing the music for the rest of the thing. That was a huge, huge tangent from Godlike. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
You got to keep it wholesome at the wedding. That's for sure.
My bad. For sure. Like, these kids can't listen, to the window, to the wall. That kind of shit. No.
The sweat drop down my bum.
Exactly. I don't want my nieces and nephews singing that shit to me.
Oh yeah.
Oh, well, I'm glad it worked out. She's looking at brothers like you, that's for sure. But let me ask you this, Patrick. So
yeah,
I and Carbon Heart and Dr. Ben, all y'all. So I read Black Riding Hood, and from what I'm hearing from Carbon Heart about Godlike, do you think it's because Black Riding Hood, it needs to be longer, so it's hard to make a comparison. But do you think it's even better than Black Riding Hood?
I loved Black Riding Hood.
I did too. I'm so mad at short.
Well, no, it's a great first issue. In terms of
the
regular comic issue size, it's a great first issue.
I know, but I'm selfish. I want more.
I want Black Riding Hood to continue. I think he might continue Black Riding Hood. That would be a good choice for him.
He did, because I super chatted him the other day and asked him. I said, "Are you?" Because I said it in my review. I was like, "John, if you don't continue this series, you're a moron. Like, you're sitting on gold. You're sitting on such big potential." And so yeah.
But
no, I told him, he said he's going to continue it.
Godlike is way ahead of Black Riding Hood in terms of overall project and visually and creatively speaking. It's on another level for sure.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. I wanted to know that.
I'll be honest, I never bought Black Riding Hood. I don't have it, and I feel kind of stupid because it's actually kind of super expensive now. I've pretty much listened to everybody and figured out what the story's about.
I paid $100 off of eBay. No, it was Trashcast. EVS had a deal for Black Riding Hood. He's like, "Yeah, I found some of these extra copies just laying around," and I paid $100.
How does EVS have a bunch of extra copies of Black Riding Hood?
I don't know, but thank God he did, because I snagged one. I was like $100. I was like, shit. But I was like, when am I gonna get it off eBay? Yeah, like $400 or more. It's like, I better just get it now. So that's good to know that, Carbon, to hear that, because
Yeah, no, Godlike is awesome. I love it. Patrick, you read it, right? What do you think about
Yes,
Godlike?
I did. I would say the first time I read it, and I would echo your previous thought that like when you, especially, it's exactly the same for me with music. When you first listen to a song, or when you first read a comic book, you're trying to understand it, and you're also being introduced to new things. And the more new things there are, the more like unique things there are. I would say the less you understand it on your original read, on your original hear. So like I've had that experience a lot where the first time you see something, you're like, what's going on here? And you're trying to figure out what's going on. And then the second time you read it or see it or hear it, you're like, oh shit. Okay. And that's when it kind of clicks. And I would say that the first read of a Godlike was it was very unenjoyable for me. Like I almost I did actually put it down after the first the prologue, and I put it down and I just did not read it again until like a week later. I was just not very interested at all. But then the second time I read through it in preparation for this stream, I was like, everything made a lot more sense to me. My biggest complaint when I first read it was that there was way too much dialogue, or I mean way too much text on the pages and like too much exposition that was told, not shown. I would say I would prefer that these things be shown, all the exposition in the first 2 pages, like with the wars between the two, the planets and all that stuff. I would prefer that it was shown in art form and not just with pictures of planets. But on the second read through, I understood it more. I understood what was going on and what the setting was and what, who was who. And so I would say that, while my first impression was not very positive at all, my second impression is it's more like, honestly, what I was trying to do with my comic book in the sense of like introduce shit and get people set up so that we can move forward from this setup to the next, like the next parts there. I mean, the art, like, do I even need to comment on the art? Like, it's just, it's really beautiful. I would say that there are times when I find John Malin's style to be a little simplistic, a little too Rob Liefeld, and not enough, Todd McFarlane, or, you know what I mean? Like he's obviously really part of like the 90s, that kind of late, like the 90s style. And I love the 90s style. So I can't, there's no bashes against that. But there's sometimes where it's a little too simplistic, like Rob Liefeld. And I was like, I wish you would do more here. But for the most part, it was beautiful. And like you said, the men are beautiful, the women are beautiful, Go ahead.
The simplicity you're talking about, are you talking about the paneling, in which you get some shots that are just like straight up, like in your face, like the bodies are right there in front of you. Yeah.
Right.
But
sometimes, it's less the ones that the bodies, like if you're showing the whole body and you're drawing the design well, I don't really worry about that. It's more like the super, like there's a lot of close-ups on faces, and I kind of see that as cheating to a degree. If it wasn't so good, then I would have kind of seen it as cheating. But he is so good. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, you see these modern comics these days with super close-ups on the faces, and you know that the artist can only really draw well faces, and so that's why they're doing it, to try to fill space.
It's funny that you say that, because I'm not going to ramble on because I gave my whole review already. But
go ahead.
I think he surpassed Liefeld though in terms of anatomy.
Yes,
and aesthetics.
He has.
He's
100%.
Like, I would say that he's a blend of Liefeld and Jim Lee and Silvestri. Those are clearly his 3 influences.
Yes.
In terms of anatomy and paneling.
Yes, he's somewhere between Rob Liefeld and Jim Lee, is what I would say.
Yeah.
And I'm not, I don't want to be mean to him.
Yeah, right.
But, You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be mean at all. I mean, Jim Lee is a
that's not mean at
a
all.
god
No,
amongst men. You know what I
to
mean?
be compared to Jim Lee,
yeah,
shit, I take that.
yeah, yeah. And so I would like to see more, not Jim Lee's style, but more of Jim Lee's. Like Jim Lee has better backgrounds. He has better. He has slightly better anatomy. But at the same time, you could make the argument. I've seen other John Malin stuff other than Godlike. Like I read his Thunderbolts line because I wanted to see. I love this. Mr. Self-Destruct says Jim Lee. I said Jim. That shit gets me every time, dude. I would like to see more on the Jim Lee side of things, but I don't want John to, John is his own artist. I don't want him to feel like he has to be like Jim Lee, but I would prefer more detail like Jim Lee than like there's some pictures where it's like a lot, like very little detail. And when you're looking at it, you're like, damn, that colorist is fucking amazing because he really made this picture look interesting.
Well, I know what you mean. I know what you're talking about, but I think the variety worked in terms of different panels having those close-ups and the simplicity versus the larger, kind of sweeping overall detailed shots. So I think the variety worked. Simple shots and then more detailed shots.
Yes. I would say there's a lot of exposition in this comic book, especially in the beginning. And I would say the prologue is mostly exposition, and then the section after that is less.
The prologue is the weakest point.
Yeah.
What do you think of the ending? What do you think of the last 6 pages?
So first of all, I really liked the double page black spread. I was a big fan because I knew the situation around that, like what that means when you put 2 blank pages. But like I said, he's the artist, so I understood he was doing that very much on purpose, and he could afford to do it. I mean, he didn't have to pay anybody to draw blank pages for him. So can we talk spoilers? I don't really want to talk spoilers.
Let's do it. Why not?
Well, we might as well, because the people who bought it have bought it, and everybody else is going to have to pay $400 to get this anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa. I feel like the spoilers
Isn't that what it is?
Ruin it. I feel even if we...
How much does Godlike cost right now on eBay?
Holy shit.
$100, I think.
Does it?
Yeah.
Let's take a look.
Okay, because then it's right up, because I know when I went to get Black Riding Hood, I know it's a different book, but when it comes to John Malin price-wise, the most expensive one was a signature series of Black Riding Hood, and he was asking for $1,200.
Well, apparently Black Riding Hood is worth more because of how limited it was.
Yeah.
That's why. Godlike, the first printing, and you can get it for $100 on eBay right now.
That's not bad. That's not bad. It could be worse. You could end up having to pay more, so that's not bad. And it just came out, so I'm thinking with a lot of the books that I have, they're going to be high value as the years go by.
Oh yeah, once the second one comes out, it's going to go up.
Yeah.
Mr. Self-Destruct says, John, I don't want you to be more like Jim Lee, but I'd like it if you could be more like Jim Lee. John responds, what do you want me? So, yeah, that's right, Mr. Self-Destruct. So anyway, in finalization to my finalization, good God, vocabulary just goes out the window. The moment you start drinking alcohol, vocabulary, it's gone. It's gone.
You were saying though, Patrick, that I think we can get into spoilers because even with the description of it, I don't think it ruins it for people.
Not at all. Not at all.
Reading it and turning through the pages is not the same as hearing a couple of things that we're saying about it.
I would say that on the first read through, it was very I was very kind of annoyed by how long everything took to get to. On the second read through, I was like, this is a healthy buildup. That's what I would say. And I think that I I think that everybody should read everything twice to see if they really like it or not.
Okay, I was about
what
to
we were
ask
saying
you.
earlier, Carbon. But you know, like I said, the first run through was very rough for me. I actually put it down 2 or 3 times. I was like, I can't do this right now. I don't. And it might also been because I was in a stressful part in my life at that
Well,
time.
no, I know what you're saying
You
because it's a very dense
Mhm.
book. Here's what I'll say.
Very
I didn't say
dense.
this before. It's not a light read. It's not a light reading experience where you're like, oh, I'm going to flip through some pretty pages, read a
Right.
little bit of light dialogue. It's like I got to be ready to read some hardcore, like a sci-fi novel to a degree.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yes.
you got to get yourself in that framework. But I want to hear what you think about the climax and the twist ending, if you remember. Maybe you don't know what I'm talking about. The revelation
Well, I mean,
about
like
the main character, basically.
what's a twist about? I mean, he grabs the sword. He grabs the TriStar, and then like is that what you're? Is that the twist you're referencing, or like?
Well, that's the climactic scene is when he meets the Romulus, the being.
Yeah.
And that's like kind of where you get told everything. Everything gets kind of explained to you there. But I
Yes.
love the
I see what you're
connection. The main character's name is Adam Ra, right?
Yeah.
And there's the implication that he is a descendant of historical figures. And I love that he tied it back to Earth and historical events with Christ on the cross and 9/11 and the American flag. And when he said that he recognized Romulus's face, that was the climax, dude. You gotta read it a third time, dude. And he's telling
I do have to read it a third time.
Yeah, he goes, I recognize you. He goes, yes, you've seen me before. He goes, I used to call you. What did you call me? And then you turn the page,
Father.
and he goes,
Yeah.
I called you Father.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That was amazing, dude.
Yeah.
Because the face
Well,
of the.
I was a bit thrown off by that because I thought he was going to talk about Jesus for a second, and I was like, it doesn't sound very much like John Malin to be talking about Jesus.
Yes, I was shocked.
You know what I mean?
John Milne, a known atheist. I'm like, what's going on here? He's talking about Lord God throughout the whole book. Everybody is spiritual, all the different races, and then at the end, saying this main character is in a sense a reincarnation of a hero who's Christ-like, who might be connected to Jesus.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So you're saying like, wait, are you saying that Adam Ra might actually be a reincarnation of Jesus? And that was what John was intending?
Yeah. Well, to a degree, there's a connection there. I mean, it's not in plain language like that, but yeah.
Interesting. I didn't take it like as that's why I guess I was a bit confused. But maybe who knows? Who knows what John intended? But at the very least, I can see that he respects the greatest stories of all time. You know what
I mean, look, he's not necessarily a reincarnation. I wouldn't say a reincarnation of Jesus, but there's this kind of energy, like connection. Look at those pages again. Those historical moments, and he's referring to other historical figures who were leaders who saved humanity. And then Adam Ra now goes, he's told by Romulus, you can save humanity. So he's the new Christ, essentially.
Okay.
Wow.
I would say the most unrealistic thing about this whole thing, though, is that the bad guy, Strife, was his name? No, his name was not Strife. That'd be a direct ripoff. His name was what was that guy with the guy with the super cool design with his
with the helmet?
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that helmet shit. He looked like a character from Dark Souls or Berserker almost. You know what I'm saying?
I forgot the names. And honestly, I feel like this story warrants a lot more books. That way you can get to know all these different characters.
Yes. Mr. Self-Destruct says, didn't assume he was some reincarnated Christ at all. Didn't get that vibe. More so that he was a focal point. Mr. Self-Destruct, that's how I felt. I didn't assume that he was reincarnated Christ. I thought that I thought that when he was talking about I knew your name, when he said I used to remember your name, I thought he was talking about Jesus, and then he said Father. And then I thought maybe he's still talking about Jesus to a degree, but then I was dissuaded from that. So I will have to reread it. I don't quite understand that last part as much as I feel like I should. But I would say that.
All right, hold on. I have the book open right now. I'm going to read this.
Yeah.
This is a quote. Romulus is saying to Adam during that climax. He says, "But you, Adam, are one of the Romulus guard, those gifted with long life and resurrection. You have lived and died many times within your own bloodline." See what I'm saying? So the reincarnation.
Well, then he couldn't be Jesus then.
No, it's like a
He
Buddhist.
couldn't be Jesus then.
Well, like I said, it's not a direct. I mean, you might be focusing on the Jesus thing, but he shows the cross, though.
Well,
no.
I'm just saying, like I would say, if I'm being honest with people, that like if John said that Adam Ra was a descendant of Jesus, that would have upset me a little bit, because Jesus didn't have direct biological descendants, as far as I believe. You know, you might.
Yeah, well, I mean, it feels more like a spiritual.
That idea that he was like a witness there, like Mr. Self-Destruct is saying, like he was there to see those things, and he's experienced those things because he's reincarnated over and over. That's
right.
That's fucking sick.
You're right. No, it's more like a spiritual successor. I'm not saying a descendant, but it has that spiritual successor kind of feel.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say, like I said, folks, you should get this book. I would say run through one is a little rough because there's a lot of exposition, a lot of information that's included in here. But when you run through it the second time, you kind of actually end up appreciating all the extra information, and you start to understand the universe on a deeper level with less pages than it would take for other people to tell that kind of a story. Also, I want to say something. I'm just going to be really controversial here, and people can hate me for this.
Oh.
I love Dale Keown. Happy birthday to him a couple days ago, by the way.
Yeah,
but
birthday.
Bro, Pitt isn't in this comic book.
Oh.
He's not?
Shocker, I know. Yeah.
So? That doesn't matter.
It does matter, okay?
You can just have like a cool cover with it on it.
No, you got to have the people and the people, like what happens in the story on the comic cover. No. Look, bro. Okay, look, I'm gonna be honest with. I'm gonna be brutally honest with people right here.
Keown.
I have a cover from Jimmy Reyes that has not seen the light of day yet because it actually has things on it that aren't in the comic book. So I felt guilty about doing that to people.
It doesn't.
Yeah, but all you have to say is
Keown.
all you have to say is that they exist in the same universe.
I know, but I don't like it.
And then there you go.
Maybe I'm slightly autistic. What is going on with my fucking camera right now? It doesn't matter, because... Alright, folks, we're about to wind down for the night. I know we said we were going to talk about Inglorious Rex 2 and Ghost of the Badlands as well, but I feel like we had a great conversation about Godlike, and we could have
let's talk about one more book. Why don't you do some talking about another book?
Well, I actually kind of have to end it for tonight. I want to, but I have to end it for tonight. I would say, though, that Inglorious Rex was... I felt about it the same way that I felt about the first one, in that it's very good. The art... I like Shane Davis's art more than I like everybody's, except for maybe one exception. I have one exception to that. But Shane Davis is he is top notch. Like, I like his art better than I like Ethan's art. I like his art better than I like John's art. I think that Shane Davis is like, I said before that Aaron Lopresti was pound for pound the best comic skater out there. He can only be matched, I would say, by Shane Davis. Shane Davis is superb at art. His art is unbelievable. It's not matched by anybody else in Comicsgate, in my opinion. And also, his writing is very, very, very good compared to the vast majority of Comicsgate. I would say, like I said, it's only surpassed by Aaron Lopresti. Aaron Lopresti's stories are better, in my opinion, than Shane Davis's. But I would say he's a close second to Aaron Lopresti as the pound for pound, what is it, heavyweight champion of Comicsgate Commandos, or Comicsgate Kings, I mean, sorry.
Wow. I will say this before y'all. Go ahead, Pat. You go say your things. Mine's different.
No, Katie. Katie, go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. I do want to say before you end, Carbon Heart, I just want to say on behalf of me and a lot of people in CG, we really appreciate what you did a while back, confronting people that did not really care or looks at Comicsgate in a negative light. And I just want to say thank you for just getting in the ring and being straightforward with them about
You're talking about
Comicsgate as a
Matt
whole.
Barr, right?
It was with Matt Barr, Wiggle, and all of them.
All the
And I just want to say thank you, because I hate that people think just because there's a couple of bad apples in the barrel, that means they're all bad.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, when you got on there, it was like, it's such a relief to hear someone say, thank you, finally, somebody is feeling the way that we're feeling. And I know it's probably gay and cheesy and whatever, but I just want to say thank you. I really do.
Well, thanks for recognizing
Oh, on that
that.
stream? Is that what you're talking
Yeah,
about?
Matt Barr and Wiggle. Yeah, no, I went on to debate with them because, Matt Barr started that whole hashtag, "This is Comicsgate," to try to ruin the name. And it was obvious that, just because, he had a disagreement with Ethan, that he was going to try to insult all of Comicsgate. And enough was enough, because obviously there's so many people on Comicsgate. It's still a movement. And just because, you had a little disagreement and a fight, you're not going to try to mar the name of it. And somebody needs to speak up. And but unfortunately, they proved that a rational debate with them is not. They're not capable of it. They're going to descend into nonsense. They're going to descend into cursing and joking around. And that's why I made my peace. I said my part. I said, hey, this is what I think. I'm defending Comicsgate, and you can fuck off. End of story.
Well, thank you, because, that's the thing I get criticized a lot is, oh, she's just a fake geek girl. She hasn't read a comic in a day in her life. She's just, and it's like, yeah, maybe I'm not as well knowledged as a lot of people here, but I'm a mom on a mission to find really good comic books and stuff and material for my children to read, so they can really not only get inspiration to maybe even do art or writing, but it helps with their reading level. It helps them, become better readers. And I want to learn. That's why I'm here. Like, I want to learn. I want people
Well,
like,
let
for
me ask you a
instance, Patrick
question,
sent
Katie.
me an Amazon link to some really good comics, and I'm like, thank you. That's what I want. I want to, yeah.
Nice. Katie, let me ask you a question. You
Sure.
mentioned earlier, that you've watched the Batman animated series and Justice League and all that back in the day, right?
Yep, long ago.
So you were familiar with this world. But what was the first, in terms of Comicsgate, like the live streams, how did you find out about Comicsgate?
Flashcast.
Through Flashcast.
When
Okay.
was on
There's
there.
no shame. There's no shame on that. There's no
And
shame
that was,
in that.
God, it's been so long ago, because like I said, I've been watching them around like 2018 and up, and it's like I can remember the stream in my head. I can't remember the conversation word by word of it, but the way he was talking about Cyberfrog and the comic, because the comic book industry was going to shit, obviously starting around that time, and I got tired of the woke crap, and so when he talked about Cyberfrog and what Comicsgate stood for, I was like, oh, really? This is cool. I didn't know this, so I started watching a lot of the streams, and I like the movement. I'm a conservative. I believe in free speech and free art, and it's to be independent. I'm an independent hairdresser, so I'm all for independence. Like for people to make their own business, their own money, their own passion, to do well in it. And so, yeah, that's how I got introduced to it, and I'm grateful. And I will say, Comicsgate's been a blessing to me. Like I understand that I had a lot of help from Ethan through Trashcast, but just the fact that people are like, "Hey, have you read this? Oh, you need to watch this movie." It's like, thank you. That's why I'm here. I want y'all teach this Don Blanc some, some new things. All right, and so it's just I've been very thankful for Comicsgate, but I love the books that I have. I've got like 2 boxes full of comic books that I've backed and bought, and it's so nice to know that like here in the future, probably when my kids get to my age, what's technology going to be like? What's AI going to be like? And to know that if everything goes so digital, and say like paper doesn't exist or something, let's just go with that. Well, I have these amazing books that were hand drawn and written by people who were so passionate in their work and their story. Like
Absolutely.
like when I read Black Riding Hood, because I read the first comic I read was Richard's Blood and the Sword, and that was really good. And I'm going to do an review on that here soon. But when I read Black Riding Hood, I was like, what the fuck have I missed out on my life? Like, these are amazing stories. Like, this is a really good story. Like, the art's great. It's just like, thank God I found it. Thank God I'm here. And Comicsgate's been a blessing to me.
I think you bring something special to Comicsgate as being a mom and being passionate about being a mom and showing your kids shit that's good. I think it's a really, like, everybody's got their different, a viewpoint and opinions on things, and it's fun to hear everybody's different perspective on things, and especially you as a mother who's trying to show her children like good entertainment, good art. I think you provide something to Comicsgate that nobody else can or has provided, and so I feel like and also the ability to, like I said before, the ability to go like slog through all of this fucking bullshit that comes out of the mouths of some of these people and still like, make clips of it and stuff and show us, because you'll put up a 4-minute, clip of something and I'll be like, thank God she put it up, because that's about as much as I can take from that fucker. You know what I mean? So you really are a real gift to Comicsgate, and I
thank you.
I really
that's
appreciate
really
you.
Good. Yeah, no, that's really good to hear. Because doing this, I've been attacked left and right, so it's nice to hear things like that. And that's my argument too with people who hate these new people coming in. Well, how do you expect Comicsgate to grow?
All right, how is Comicsgate exactly?
If you don't let us come in, like, okay, some of us, Mint does her thing, whatever. Who cares? She's paying for your product.
Yeah.
She's putting money, and we're putting money in y'all's pockets. So not only you can keep doing what you love, but you're paying the bills. You're putting food on the table. Like, you're in the amount of passion that y'all have it. Like, let us come in and let us buy it. Let's Comicsgate grow, because if you're going to gatekeep customers, you're not only hurting yourself, you're hurting everybody else.
Everybody. Yeah.
And that's just been my statement.
Katie, you're right, because obviously you're relatively new, and in terms of your channel, and there were people hating on you and basically wanted to kind of suppress you in terms of saying, oh yeah, she's a grifter and she's not real. And we heard that. I heard that too. And my reaction is, look, any one of us creating a channel, myself, Patrick, Ben, and it doesn't matter how new you are, if you have a love for this, you have a passion for it, and you're contributing towards it, fuck everyone else. They're just being haters. And truth be
Right.
told, once you start getting haters, it's a sign that you're doing something right. Actually, I've learned that. I've learned that in my life. And they're just trying. They're trying to drag you down. And yeah, whatever. Mint, all these other people, because Matt Barr and them, that's their latching point. Oh, look at these new people. They're new customers. They're new Comicsgaters. We want Comicsgate to grow. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think Comicsgate offered a huge avenue, starting in 2020, for people to find like-minded individuals. And I know exactly what you're talking about, where you're getting introduced to new media, and finally you hear other people agreeing with how you feel about some things, and that's why it's refreshing. And I think that's why most of us are here, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that, Carmen. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've built some great friendships with Jimmy, and I've met such wonderful artists. Like I recently had Andy Smith and Dennis Turner on. I mean, I've met such wonderful people, and I'm so thankful to know that when I give my kids these books, I'll be like, yeah, I know who this is. He used to come on Mommy's Stream all the time, and we used to talk. And I have more of a connection with these books. It's not just the story, the art, but I personally have a connection with these books because I know the person behind the book. And yeah, I appreciate that because I do want to see CG grow. I think it's so important that, I mean, I don't want to change anything. I'm not a woman that's coming in and changing anything, but I always tried to make a suggestion, which is why I liked what Andy Smith and Dennis Turner doing is making a comic book that's kind of for all ages. Let's also keep doing what we're doing, but keep in mind of the generation that we have now, like my kids' generation. If we don't want them brought into comics through the Marvel DC of crap, let's bring them into this. Let's bring them to show, like, you look at all these independent artists and comic and writers who are doing things on their own that doesn't need corporation or whatever, or a company to work for. They do it themselves independently, and I think that's a good example to give our kids is, look, you can do it if you try. You can make this work. You just gotta put in the effort. And I don't know, going on a tangent, but yeah,
No, you're fine.
I'm very thankful for that, and thank you guys. And I ain't going nowhere. I know they're gonna try to push me out of them gates, but I ain't going nowhere. You can just lock them bitches up because I'm sitting right here. I'll just sit in the middle of the road and block your way to get through.
Perfect.
So,
Well,
but thank you.
Thank you, Katie. I really hope that you bought this for your children. I actually do want to kind of indoctrinate
I'm
your
waiting for it in the
children
mail.
with this.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it in
So,
the mail. Thank you so much for
good.
that, Patrick.
They will actually become vastly more intelligent by reading this, The Essential Fantastic Four #1 by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. They will become vastly more intelligent than you could have possibly imagined, and they will understand comics on a level that was hitherto, and I just said yes, hitherto, impossible for your children, but now they are. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you all very much for coming out. We've got some amazing people who are in the chat tonight: Dakar, Mr. Self-Destruct, Kevin Everson, Sleeping Psychopathy. I'm sorry, Dr. Ben, did you want to say something? Sorry.
I was just going to say, I couldn't share my thing because I switched over to the phone, but I put it in the private chat. I just launched my comic today. I'm just putting like up a page on Wednesday and then a page on Sunday.
There's nothing in the private chat. Are you sure you put it in the private chat? Because there's nothing there.
Just not in there. Maybe it took it out when I switched from place to place.
So this is what I would say, folks, and I'll post it tomorrow on Twitter. And everybody here, hopefully, will post it tomorrow on Twitter. But we'll post Dr. Ben's comic book there.
Well, Ben, you can't post it now. Put it in the chat now.
Is it not there?
I could do that. Come on.
Is it on Indiegogo or something?
It's on Substack. Or well, you can go on Twitter too, but like Substack's easier to see, like the thing. Hold on.
Go check out Dr. Ben's channel, everybody. Go check out Katie Did's channel, which is Right.
Go take it.
Where is that link? Mr. Self-Destruct, please. Why are you... Why? Finatra's not even on this show right now, dog.
Yeah.
I love Finatra just as much as the next fella, but come on.
I'm glad he's back though.
Why?
Me too.
Yeah, he's been gone for a while. He made a new channel, and he's
Maybe
been
that's
posting
why he's doing it.
some new music actually that's really good. So
Yeah, with
yeah.
Shane his rant when his channel got struck, that one is starting to sound. It sounds so good.
Yeah, we gotta bring Sinatra on here.
Everybody, go to this page. Go to this link right here.
Well, yeah. Like,
and
can
you'll
you pull
see.
it up? That's what I'm saying. You should be able to just pull it up, and it'll be. Should be.
Can you post it in the private chat, please? It won't let me like copy and paste it.
Okay. 'Cause I can't. I don't know how to
Hold
do
on,
that.
hold on. Yeah, no, Ben, I got you. Hold on, let me share my screen.
You got it? Okay. Okay.
I opened the link. Let me share my
I'm
screen.
too
Okay.
stupid, folks. I'm sorry. I'm so bad with the computers. I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If it's on the iPod, like, or phone or whatever this thing is, like, I can't. I don't know what happens
No,
if I go.
I don't
somewhere
blame
else
you
and
at all,
try to-
dude. It's all fucking
You
weird.
see, Ben, I care about you after all.
Look at that.
I'm sharing my
There it
screen.
is. Okay, so it's called. Well, the first part is called "Let Us Get." It is going to be. I'm describing it as a goth true crime comics. This is. I guess I can show the first page actually. So that's the first page. You can go through and you read there. Hi, folks. It's your favorite friendly neighborhood, Dr. Ben. So what is a goth true crime comics? See, that's me saying that. I tried to get my like goth eye makeup with it.
Yeah,
with
you
all
got
the
some real
lines.
crazy eyes there.
Well, this one's about a satanic murder and current events. So that's what I'm saying. That's just one page. You know what I'm saying? That's just a whole one page of stuff. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm going to post one page on Wednesdays, one page on Sundays. And
Are you gonna color it?
I don't know if I'm going to color it or not. I think I might leave that up for like, because I'm
Don't
just
color
taking
it.
like,
Please
that's what I'm
don't.
saying. Like,
It looks
I
better
don't-
black and white, I feel like.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I think color would be good.
maybe like spot color.
Brighten
might
this
be what
up.
I might do.
You've always got to disagree with me, Carbon. No, I'm just kidding.
No, that's not true. That's not true at all.
I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
Well, because I know what you're saying though. Like, if you're just doing like black and white art, like if that's
Well, no,
what
I think
you're
this
starting with,
would-
like, that's kind of like how it.
I like your
This
black
page-
and whites, Dr. Ben.
I'm just saying this page. I think with color would look nice.
Could be.
I think it would look
Well,
like
see, that's what I'm
shit.
saying. It's like I'm gonna.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, see, they always disagree.
I'm kidding.
No, but like the plan. Once I get like all 20, 24 pages or whatever, I think I'm ready for the first issue. I'm just gonna do, like I'm gonna do like a crowdfund for it or whatever, right? Because I want to print it like an old timey, the way the old timey like if
Or
you
like
ever
a
saw-
newspaper comic strip.
Yeah. Well, like the way like the old like '90s like alternative comics would be, where they'd be black and white, and then they'd have like a nice color cover, like that. That's what I'm gonna do with this. That's what I'm saying. Like the logo there. That's like the last minute, just drawn it on a piece of paper. So that's what I'm saying. This is just like the rough, taking pictures with the phone, just posting them straight on there. Because like scanning in artwork is like, I hate it. I don't want to have like every week like scanning in a couple pages. Like I'm just gonna wait and have all the pages for the first issue done. I'll scan them all at once. So it'll be like 20, 30 pages rather than like little cuts every week. Little cuts of like scanning a page. I hate it. Like just drawing and inking is where that's where I do my thing.
Yeah.
So the book is called "Let Us Get."
Let Us Get. That's it. I might change it to.
Let us get the fuck out of here. Is basically.
Exactly. See, that's
Wow.
it's a perfect segue.
Yeah, perfect segue. Speaking of that, ladies and gentlemen, It's going to be a great night tonight. I hope you've had a great night tonight. Thank you so much, Katie did, for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Thank you
You're
for
our
having me
special
on.
guest. No doubt at all. Anytime you want to come on, let me know, and I will just shoot
Okay.
you the link anytime.
Before we let Katie go, I was just
yeah.
going to say, you said you're an independent hairdresser.
Yes.
I don't know if Gail was an independent or what her deal was. She was like a hairdresser as well, right? Gail Simone. And then she went on to become like this big popular, not at all to compare you to Gail Simone. Like,
oh,
I'm not trying to insult you.
That's what it sounded like, Dr. Ben.
What I'm saying is that like the mainstream should be like, look, we have our hairdresser who writes comics. We should be like,
yeah,
we got Katie did.
Yeah, we've got
hairdresser
Katie
that
did.
writes
So
comics.
suck it, mainstream. That's right.
This is what we got.
That's actually the comment we want to leave on tonight. Mainstream, Marvel, DC, you know, even Image comic books. You know what you guys can do? You can fucking suck it. That's how we feel here at Comicsgate Commandos. And another thing is that